There we go. I think people can hear us in the stream. We are about to turn on the microphone in here. People should hear us in the Google Meet. Things are moving. We're going in the right direction, everyone. This is perfect. Things are ramping up. Sorry, I just have to get the chat window going, and then we are ready to go. Sorry for the delay. So sorry for the delay. We just finished up a meeting right before this, so we had no time to prepare. Such is the startup life, but we promise to get to all of our applications today. Now, the last thing is I want to make sure that the chat is working. I think that was the only part. Oh, are you sharing your screen up there?
No.
Oh, that's the Mac. Whoa. Okay. Is the Mac starting to fail? No way. One more thing, everyone. Almost done. Almost done, I swear. I'm just trying to put the YouTube chat up in here, but
Look at a new source.
what was this? That was browser.
That's us, it looks like. Let's see highlights what you're selecting. Maybe not.
No. So this thing, studio.youtube.
Yeah.
All right, that's the chat. Wow, we're almost there. And see how professional we are at this. Audio is very low. Can you turn the mic up? Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem with the road. It's too far away.
Up a little bit.
I can turn the gain up, I think.
Yeah. I think that is is this better? Is that better? Actually, I thought that was headphone volume. That might
Yeah, I think I actually might not do anything. I think
that might not do anything.
program.
Okay, can the people in the chat hear us well? Or sorry, can the people in the meet hear us well? Gives a thumbs up. Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, we will be very loud, and then let us know if there's any echo as well. Is there any echo from the folks in the meet and or the YouTube stream? The answer is no, then we're in a good spot. I'm feeling like that's a no. And I like that's a good no. No, all caps, thank you. All right, perfect, everyone. Yeah, so we've got that working. I want to just make sure that our stream is working. One more check. Looks like this will not be working on LinkedIn. That's quite unfortunate. And then I think the YouTube stream is live in Partyful link and the Luma link, right? It's on both of them?
Yep.
We're just going to blast out to everyone on Luma and Partyful that we're live. And let's get this show going. You know, it wouldn't be a live stream if we weren't late. That's how it's always got to be, right? 6636. I probably shouldn't say my two-step authentication code to everyone out loud. That's generally ill-advised. Okay, text blast. We are live. Where's the link? That's the link. All right. Sending that out. Thank you, everyone. One more moment. Just want to make sure everyone on the Lumas and the Particles got this. And then the last thing is, did I upload the, we don't have, okay, perfect. Live.deprediction.com. I think, whoop, that goes to the Luma and the Luma. Okay. All right. We're in a good spot now. Perfect. Okay, everyone. I think, let's see, how do we want to do this time? because last time I think we ran over a little bit. And I want to make sure we give everyone the right amount of time and get through as many as possible. What do you think?
Yeah, there's a couple people on this list that were
Yeah,
in line to present, so why don't you raise your hand if you were in here last time?
yeah. If you were in the last event, please raise your hand. We're gonna get to you first, and this is the honor system. So if you were not, um, that would be really bad. And there's no consequences, but you'll feel guilty for a really long time. I guess that's the that's the repercussions. Um, all right. And the way that we'll do this is exactly what Vinay talked about last time is, let's see, Federico. We'll do really quick. I'm gonna like put a timer on because we ran over and I felt so terrible. We'll put a timer of like 1 to 2 minutes. Tell us what questions you have. Quick thing, you can share your screen, share content, whatever it might be, and then we're just gonna lightning round, try to help and get as many people as possible feedback and just get more people into speedrun. That is literally our entire goal today. um, and let me get a clock. Let's see.
I'm gonna share the screen. By the way, nice to meet you guys, and thank you for being helpful with the review. Uh, I have a bit of visual, but I can just like talk
Perfect. Share it. Let's do
all
it.
of me.
And then
Can
to
you
make
see
this
on the
also
screen?
more collaborative, I'll just put one more announcement as there. If anyone else has feedback on each other's uh you know stuff, jump in, right? Like I think last time the chat people were like, oh my God, I want to use that product. Or I would invest in that. I think some people were thinking of doing some angel investing the last time we were here. Jump in, interrupt, and let's go. So yeah, sorry, kick it off. Let's go.
I'm also putting my name, so if you guys want to add me on LinkedIn or want to connect, happy to connect. So I'm Federico, the founder of FantaLab. Our vision is to reinvent fantasy football. We are actually doing it. The whole business thesis that is fantasy sport industry is underperforming. The mainly profitable companies are the betting one, the one focused on gambling and betting, but we find out that there is a 20 billion opportunity playing on site that is completely untapped. And so we created FantaLab. We started launch in Italy, and our way to reimagine fantasy football is through making a kind of a video game-like style experience rather than the old-fashioned gambling style. And to do that, we also integrate and embed in the gameplay influencer and ex-football legends. Uh, so the core idea is that when users are in our platform, they feel like real football manager. That at the end is what they really want to experience, and that is really attracting Gen Z, a lot of players that want to just connect better in the sports without the gambling experience. Just to give a quick visual, this is a traditional fantasy sport against our game. So like we have really expanded the dynamics to make a deep kind of football manager style experience. And we are really doing good. We are outperforming the industry in every metric. We reached 1 million users in Italy with a 7.2 month-over-month growth in the last 12 months. Our acquisition cost, that is our really go-to-market that we cracked, I believe, is like 1,325 times less than betting company. We have a 1 million ARR coming from 61,000 paying customers, 75% of customer retention year after years. And our game is actually more engaging than traditional fantasy games that are
Awesome.
like pretty simple and shallow. How we do that? The core idea, as I mentioned, is to integrate ex-football players and football influencer into the core game mechanics. This boosts the retention, the game is more fun, and it's involved more the emotional side, but at the same time, it draw acquisition.
Okay.
Yeah, I think pretty much this is the main presentation.
Awesome. What's what can we help you with? I think I get a kind of understanding of what your business is.
I think for me is really understanding how the best way to frame in the application this one. I try to go with my application. This actually is the one. I really probably think I would like any feedback in the from the application side. If I'm focusing in some wrong angle, if you believe, guys, I should add something. I think that is really like the best I could get.
Gotcha. Okay, so reinventing over Gen Z, ditching outdated game and style mechanics. I think you can cut down that like one sentence to just reinventing fantasy football for Gen Z, and then leave the describe your project for where you
Okay.
add more context.
Yeah.
They really like it. You know, if you've looked at a lot of YC apps, it's similar in terms of A6 and Z, and that the one liner really try to keep it that really short, concise, intriguing kind of comment that then they ask, interesting, tell me more. And then you've got them hooked for that larger, 100 word area where you can expand on your thoughts. Let's see. I just want to quickly read this and jump in, Dave, if you have anything.
Yeah, I mean, 1 million in ARR, that's pretty good. So I would lead with that in the somewhere in this application, get that towards the top. Same within the pitch itself.
Well, you have 1 million in ARR.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 1 million ARR.
Why is that described nowhere in the describe your product? Or am I missing
I
something?
put into the metrics. I probably should
Too small.
at this
Put
point.
that in the first
Yeah,
line.
that should be like
describe.
honestly, I would put your describe your thing in one line. It should be fantasy football for Gen Z, comma 1 mil in ARR.
Honestly,
Right?
like
That's
that.
the most ridiculous. Like, wait, why is that so low, dude? What are you doing?
Okay,
Come
fair enough.
on. All right, I think we talked about this on the
I
last
don't
stream.
really need to stick literally on what they ask, so what we're building. So
Look, if
I think this.
I think this is a general just trend that I see is if you think it's cringe and you think you're bragging too much, you're probably bragging too little and you should be doing it. You know, you don't want to have it that you have to read 2 paragraphs to figure out that you make $1 million fucking dollars a year. Right? That's
Okay,
crazy.
fair enough.
So
There is a point at which you wouldn't want to say it, and it probably is 250K, like pre-revenue versus like I have revenue, and 1 million is in that
I'm
range.
also.
So
We are also profitable, actually, not just the 1 million ARR.
no,
But
no
we
one
are
cares
also
about
yeah,
profits.
I don't want to. Yeah, don't say
No.
about profits.
Profits doesn't
Okay,
matter,
cool.
just revenue.
Thank you. See, I need to hear this stuff, guys.
Yeah. No, but this is incredible. I think another part is it's a little wordy. I think we talked about last time with Troy and the feedback that he gave. Troy, for context, the new folks here is he's a partner in Andrees and he joined the stream last time. Concise. Keep it concise, right? Like your
Mhm.
first part. I love Troy. There we go. We're reinventing fantasy sports for Gen Z, ditching outdated gambling style mechanics and true video game. Okay, yeah, that's actually pretty powerful. Our gameplay blends football. Blah,
Yeah,
blah.
I mean, like I have questions about it. I don't know if it'll be important for this app. Like virality about embedding football legends and top football influencers. Like I love the influencers play, but like
It's making 3 mil or
for
1
I
mil.
know for legends, like do you have to pay them? Is there like reciprocity or something?
I, I don't know if
Yes,
that would.
we pay legends to be
Okay,
like
I don't
we
know if
have
that matters
10
that though.
and then
10
is the competitor
ex
at this
football
point
players
FIFA?
in Italy, 6 World Cup in total in the Italian market.
Yeah, I think you're in a good spot. Honestly,
Yeah.
just like first feedback. One, make this a little bit more concise. Like there's a lot, when there's too many adjectives, I think that's another thing that we've seen in like really successful applications. Cut out a lot of the fluff, right? Like when you have 4 adjectives in a row, cut that out, bring it down, make it more concise. You can put it into ChatGPT and say make concise. And then also if you have ARR that's above $200,000, I would move that to the top. For you specifically, when you have $1 million in ARR, that should be almost in your just one liner. That's a big deal. Other than
I
that,
think a powerful number I have is we have completely reshaped in with our go to market, like the acquisition cost completely dropped.
yeah.
I don't know, because I feel in that I need to introduce a bit of knowledge in this, so I don't know if to put on top that, but the acquisition cost is 1,000 cheaper than traditional fantasy
Look, I
like
think
apps.
bring that in to that description, like metrics, right? Metrics and hype, that should be more important than more adjectives describing like how great your product is. It's like you have metrics that's more powerful than, talking about some other, paint a vision, bring some metrics. And I think that's the successful applications that I've seen. And if you don't have metrics, go doubling down on the vision. Because
Appreciate
what
it.
we talked about last time is you're either a team bet or a traction bet. And,
Just the
Maybe,
last 30
yeah,
seconds for the team, guys, if you can give me a quick feedback as
sure.
well. Is 8 years we worked together with me and my co-founder.
That's good.
Third startup, we didn't do any exit. The first two actually failed, but
Perfect.
we got a lot of experience in the B2C app, always been B2C, passionate.
Yeah.
And then,
There's
yeah,
this is perfect, right? The things that
okay.
folks look for in applications and Andreessen looks for, right, is have the founders known each other for a while, because the most common way that startups die is from founder relationships falling apart.
Yeah,
Do they have relevant insights or experience in the space? And then ideally is someone or both technical. You get brownie points if they're both technical. If you're building a technical product, if you're making an oil rig, obviously making software engineers wouldn't be the
sure.
best thing to do that. But you both have the technical experience to do it. So I think this looks great. Overall, one-liner, less wordy, more concise description. Team slide wouldn't really change it. Looks good.
Thanks. Guys, if you can focus also maybe at the end, like just a few minutes you can spend for everybody to also maybe talk some tips for the follow-up process. So if we pass the first, if you can give some tips also for the like what to do next would be amazing, I think, for
Yeah,
everybody.
for the interview, and this would be broadly applicable. So I'll spend a second to. This is going to be for everyone. This won't be specific for you. Uh,
Yeah,
for the interview, things to keep in mind: concise answers. Right, you can treat this like a YC interview, but a little bit longer. So concise answers. If someone asks, "Tell me about your business," right? Usually they start with like, "All right, what are you working on?" And it takes you 3 to 4 minutes to answer it. You've already failed. It's got to be pretty concise. Maybe time yourself to 2 minutes or so. I think there's look at how YC does it. Treat it very similar. There's a lot of material online. Um, yeah, that's my number one issue that I've personally seen. I don't know if
I mean, we just happenstance are kind of hearing both people's pitch decks and looking at the actual application. So if there's anything that's glaring, we will let you know. But for the most part, everything that Liam said is true. It is similar to the YC one. You need to be direct. And if somebody after a minute or two is asking, like, I don't get it, like, what's going on? If you don't think that they get it, you didn't get it. So that's why that one-liner is very important. And also hooking them early and the structure of how you present in your pitch is very important. But yes, that the format of that second one will be a pitch deck and you pitching.
I'll quickly address the YouTube comments. It's a pure play. Russ Hanneman. Yes, Tim, this is real. If you want to quickly get a take of like what Silicon Valley VCs are like, watch Silicon Valley season 1. It is not a joke. That's actually what it is. Don't care about profits. Maximize revenue. If you have too little revenue, you're pre-revenue. Don't talk about revenue. Why would you apply to Speedrun with 1 million ARR? I don't know. You want to go big. I mean, I would say like there are teams that apply to multiple millions of ARR in our cohort. The value is there. It accelerates things regardless.
Yeah, it's definitely on the higher side, but like there's so much value in connecting with the Andreessen staff and being in the valley and making connections and other venture rounds if you're going to fundraise, demo day, a lot of good reasons to do it. Wouldn't shy away, but that is a good amount of ARR, so you should be okay.
thank you, guys. I like our main reason is because we want to expand quickly internationally. So like that's I believe is the opportunity to connect with the valley. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Jump in. There we go. Cool. All right. Who is next?
In order on the raise hand section.
Yep. Sorry, guys. Faraz, wait a minute. We talked to you last time, right? Or did we not get to you?
No, so I was just about to come up before we
Oh
ended
shit,
last.
you're right. You were literally
Yeah.
the next one. All right, yeah, get on here. Let's go.
Yes. Let me just share my screen.
You want me to jump in with feedback or what exactly?
Oh yeah, yeah. Whenever
Gotcha.
I mean, you've been through this as well. Whenever you got something to say, just jump in.
Cool. Well,
Right. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Right. So the idea itself, it's very early stage. It's still in ideation phase, and generally, the purpose of having this and being here was get the opportunity, get feedback from you guys, and see if if the A16Z team can help me build the product itself. So the product itself, it's a creator platform where creators using our AI generation tools can basically build AI enabled apps and AI enabled agents. So these agents that the creator builds is an extension of the brand that the creator builds around himself. So the agents would be modeled on the creator's voice, his personality, and his humor. Uh, and or if it's a storyteller, he can create characters, he can give them a unique voice, a personality, and a sense of humor and the way to talk. uh, so it creates a platform where these apps and agents are an extension of the creator's brand itself. So an example of this can be a creator is a little league baseball coach. So the creator is very good, is a capable little league baseball coach. He trains an agent and he deploys it on the platform with his voice, his personality, his humor that can essentially coach children of different ages. So that would be tiered. The functionality of the agents would be the core focus. So these will be functional AI agents in a deployable market, but in a social setting. So there are reasons why uh, the platform has to be a trifecta of these three elements: the social element, the building element, and a deployable marketplace. So
Okay.
essentially, it comes from the hypothesis that we can safely assume right now, with where technology is going, that in the next 3 to 5 years we can essentially have a singular absolute functional AI. So let's suppose ChatGPT can in the next 5 years be your lawyer, can be your teacher, can be your coach, uh, can do all of the functional things. So at that point, when a AI reaches an absolute functional point, what will be the core differentiator between AIs? That'll be the social element. That always been the social element that will define which what people will go for, what AI people will go for. And we're seeing some elements of this rise up in the larger AI model. So we see Grok has a very unique personality, has a very unique personality when it talks to you. It's very different from other large models.
Yeah.
So essentially, having a deployable market in a social setting. So we have a lot of AI generation tools coming up, and in the last week, we've seen a lot of strides being made by these platform, and with the technology that they're having, that they're very powerful now, and it's very easy to use. With using
Yeah.
prompts, people can essentially build very
I,
complicated applications and agents now. But having a deployable market in a social setting would give the creator an instant feedback. Getting
okay.
instant
I
feedback, yeah,
sorry. I just want to just cut you off for a second here. I think my gut reaction to this, and what I think what folks would say um uh on the Andreessen side would be when there's an application that has parentheses that are identifying multiple markets. For example, right, I see that it's a creative platform where creators use, and then it gets down to uh, maybe subscriptions, tiers for sure, and then you've got personal finance, augmented reality, teachers, coaches, receptionists, cooking, gym buddy, right, video games, message board, messaging. It's too broad. There's too many
right,
things, right? And now I think the great thing about Andreessen that I found versus Y Combinator is that they're not looking for a super specific wedge, right? But looking for a wedge to begin with a grander vision. And I like what you have here in that you have a grand vision for the product, but where does it go from 0 to 1? And that would be the first step, and that would be where you begin your project because you are very early on. And then in terms of the one liner, I think we and oh my god, this thing's doing the thing where it tracks me again. 1 second. Why does it
I
do?
mean, we could try and see if it's good.
No, but it's
Nope, it's not good.
no, it's terrible. Sorry guys, 1 second. Um, this AI camera decides to just become an AI camera sometimes. I don't know why it does that. Like I literally turn this shit off, and then this is what I get for it. One
While
moment.
he's fixing the camera,
Yeah.
I'll give some feedback on the description. It seems half baked, and I've seen all the pitches from my cohort. I've seen all the pitches from cohort 4 as well, and I was looking through the directory. There is a I haven't found it yet, but there is one speedrun company that was doing something similar, not in the same way. I'll be looking for it. It's so vague, I lost track halfway through. And if you can't capture the reviewer's attention in the first 9 seconds, then you've lost a great opportunity.
Right.
Yep.
That
I agree with that.
completely understandable. So how would you,
Now it's over here.
if you do understand the idea, how would you say that I should structure the pitch?
This sounds like a marketplace, but it's
Hmm.
not. You're targeting social, which is literally the hardest one to target. You're also targeting a marketplace, which is also the second hardest one to target. And you're trying to make a creator platform, which is also very difficult. So pick one, try to
Okay.
find a niche. Do you have any users? Is this a pre-pitch?
So this is pre-pitch. This is
Okay.
absolutely ideation phase. I'll give you a bit of background about myself. I recently moved to the US. I have 6 years of experience in startups in Pakistan. So I currently work there for Alibaba as a regional business development manager for their digital goods. I've also worked at two Tiger Global backed startups at Series A and pre-seed stage. So we've scaled it up, scaled my specific category up to 6 million ARR and ARR GMV in the first year. And I've also worked for Kareem, which is a subsidiary of Uber in Pakistan. So we launched a food delivery app for them in Pakistan. So I have my experiences are not really technical, right? So my pitch would I also understand that it does sound very half big because the technical sanity is not really there, right? So the aim of getting into accelerators and talking to you guys essentially, and just trying my luck with accelerators to get a network of technical expertise, talk to technical expertise, and just get technical sanity on how would we frame this technically, and how would we go about this technically if we want to build something around this. And generally how we want to go about this, we want to build an MVP.
I think
So go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say I would say you've got a great idea here. Refine it down a bit more and then come back to us. And
Okay.
then apply with that refinement. Don't apply with this because I want you to get in. And I know
No,
that they're gonna
I've
come back.
already applied with this before when you posted about the meeting, so I've already applied with the
Just
even
apply
more
again.
crude version of this.
Just apply again later. It's fine. But I
Okay.
want you to take this, make it more concise and focused, exactly to all three of our feedback. Make it more focused. I think you're gonna find better results. That
Okay.
would be my my feedback as well. But I want to
My,
make
my,
Perfect.
sure we get to everyone. I don't know.
yeah, my 5 second feedback is I'm technical. Don't worry about the technicals. Vibe code and MVP. Get a
Fuck
few
yeah.
things out there and see what happens. Literally just do that. If you get something on Twitter and it goes boom, that will literally get the interest of A6C over anything else.
Yeah, you'll get
Okay.
other term sheets if you do that too.
Yeah.
Is Anna in
Sounds great.
here? I don't know.
So also, all the audiences and all the other founders, if you guys have any questions or any feedback on this, I would love to hear them in the comments.
Awesome. Good
Thanks,
stuff.
guys.
Let's go. To the next person. Thanks for that. Perfect. Next person. Rami?
Yeah, you spell it right. Rami.
Rami. There we go. Perfect. All right, what do you got? Let's go through it.
Yeah, just trying to share my screen.
I don't know how to turn on just automatically let everyone in. I don't know why this is so hard for
We
me.
set it up as like being restrictive.
I did? Oh shoot.
Okay.
Let me get
So
out of that.
hopefully you
All right.
guys could see my screen now.
Go for it. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so I would begin with my application, few of the application questions. So I would, we are Zoop Retail. So I just started this like in December 2024, and I'm doing a B2B quick commerce for 150 million small businesses. So narrow it down, it's the business model would be just like an Instacart for small businesses.
Okay.
And if you go at like for the describing the project in 100 words, so as you can see, like in India, the small businesses are actually the major component of the economy, apart from big retail players. So just take an example. In US, we have like Walmart, Target, Costco, but in India, most of this business is handled by small scale retailers, which are very local, and people do have a connection with them to for their day to day needs, and sometimes they prefer buying from local players. So we are just empowering these small businesses. So right now, the most of the players in India are focused on B2C, and they are selling directly to the customers. But we need to understand, like, seeing the demography of India, it's like the people who can directly order they only reside in urban India, which is basically 10% of the entire population of India. So we
Gotcha.
are basically started our operation in a tier 3 city, and we are presently having 10 paying customers and doing a $20,000 like monthly GMV.
Wow.
and,
Huh.
and so basically I'm still in university. I am at University of Wyoming. So I went in December to India, and because I was thinking of it, and me and a couple of my friends in US, we were working on some other idea. We tried applying to YC a couple of times, but our target market was India. So my like US friends, they told like it would be better if I get a Indian co-founder. And luckily, one of my cousins, he just called me in November and told like, okay, he's planning on to do something like that. And I was super excited because
Gotcha.
he's also having a very tech background. He's like software engineer at Yamaha, and I am presently pursuing my master's in artificial intelligence at University of Wyoming.
Okay.
So we came together, did some research, and when we went to, so I'll show you in my like slide. We actually interviewed more than 200 businesses,
Yep.
which include like different range of businesses. So that sparked curiosity, like, okay, because sometimes people say they would be buying from you be $10,000, and started with two paying customers, started shipping them, buying different goods and supplying it to them. And now we have increased to like 10 paying customers without any marketing. We didn't did any marketing because we didn't wanted those customers to be very true,
Gotcha.
because we can't handle day-to-day operations being not fully committed to it. So for that, we have two full-time persons who are actually working back in India for this, who are
Okay.
taking care of day-to-day orders.
Okay. Yeah. What feedback do you want on this? I have a quick thought on the one sentence, but what else can we help you with?
Okay, so I have like there is one question in the application regarding the additional matrices.
Yep.
So what additional matrices can I share? Because it's too beginning, right? It's too nascent, and we don't have a lot to share
You
right
said
now. Although the retention rate
20
is super high.
you have 20K in MRR, right?
Yeah, MRR.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would just share that and share nothing else, right? I mean, that
Well,
probably.
no, he also specifically mentioned, you said you talked to like a variety of.
No, he's saying metrics.
I know.
Like in the metric part of the application, I wouldn't put like, what are your company's metrics? I talked to 200 people.
Well, he has these metrics listed here, so he could double down on them with the 10 paying customers, 20K GMV, $600 billion TAM.
Yeah, but it's not metrics of
Yeah.
the company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and one more question I have regarding like my experience, because my previous experience before my master's in AI is all in like petroleum industry, where I worked with a startup and grew the team super high, and we worked really well. But that's not relevant. So should I include that as well, or I can omit that?
I would admit that, right? I think just overall is, remember, being concise is more important than being verbose. Being
Okay.
verbose, you lose. every time.
Mhm.
Being concise and focused on everything from the pitch to your application to when you talk about yourself. I could also talk about how, like I love running, but it has nothing to do with my business. So I'm not going to talk about that. If it's
Okay.
somewhat important and impressive, then maybe bring that up. But my advice would be like, uh, unless what you talked about, maybe it's like a one liner or something to show like quickly around your background. But I wouldn't say it's too important.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just
That's
looking at
great.
this now, and when you expand the metrics thing, it has the specific things it's looking for. Some of them you have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
so I
will
would just
quickly show
fill in the
you
metrics
my
ones.
okay. And I will quickly show you my deck. Just
Yeah,
walk
super
you through.
quickly. I
Yeah,
just want to
super
be
quickly.
cognizant of time, and we're at 6 minutes already.
Yeah, sorry. So these are general problems which I am solving. And here is the like early traction page where I
Yep.
have mentioned like market research and pilot launch and organic growth. We have currently doing a GMV of this much. So
Yeah, these are all positive metrics. I mean, that's good. I would say just visually on that on that traction slide, it makes it seem like you're on the bold one, which is just market research. You should say like put today or something that is actually current GMV. Like I don't know if this is a timeline, but to me when I see the bold one, I'm thinking that's what's going on right now. So definitely show what is today, explicitly call it out.
okay,
What
okay.
was your time from 0 to 20K MMR?
So we started with 2 customers in December,
Okay, so put
and
that. Say in 4 months or 3 months with the shortest time frame, that's what you want. You want one chart showing 0 to 20 MMR in this amount of time.
okay,
Yep.
yeah,
Great idea. Great idea.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, something that's critical too is just showing that you act fast, right? If you said like, "Oh, we got within 3 years to 20K MRR," it's like, well, maybe you should have ridden for Uber or something like that because it's just not like, that's not really impressive. But if you can show within like a few months, it's like, whoa, what could happen in the next double the amount of months? You're gonna get to 40 or 60 or 100.
Like right now we even didn't want it to be very true. We didn't wanted these customers, and one of our earlier customer actually invested 2.5 lakh rupees like supporting us to just carry on the operations and just don't stop. Because I'll just quickly show you one of the like billing that I was why it's important. Because just see here, if you can see like these multiple products.
I would
So
try to
right
convert
now,
that to dollars if you show that to anyone.
oh, okay,
Is
okay.
that dollars?
No, these are rupees, Indian rupees.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, because it's just out of the tally. Because right now, the buyer needs to have a separate vendor for each of these products, and
gotcha.
he can basically buy it from us directly at one place. So yeah,
Okay. Overall, I mean, looks good. I think just like maybe the one liner feedback that I had at the top was like just kind of say Instacart Instacart for businesses in India. Keep it simple. I think there
okay,
was like AI powered. It's like maybe.
No, I think that's a way better one.
Yeah.
Definitely change it.
okay. Thank you. That's good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Looks good. Who
Hi.
is next? Or
Yeah,
There we go. Nice.
share my screen real quick. All right, so we're building a productivity assistant. We're imagining a Jarvis of the future, and we our main insight is that to build any consumer agent in the future, the main bottleneck is going to be data, and the most amount of data is in our personal knowledge management. And we were thinking we'd build out a notes app, which basically organizes all the thoughts. Imagine something like a raycast that sits in your desktop, and you can enter any quick notes you have, or expand that into like long form notes. Every data that you can think of, you put it into your personal knowledge management, and we build a marketplace on top of that for AI agents. So, for instance, if you're building I mean, people can offer like an AI doctor, and if you're tracking how you're feeling every day, the AI doctor can query your information of how you've been feeling for the past few days, and can get information about any symptoms that might not be visible at first glance. And to just give you a quick background, I'm working at a climate tech
startup, and I've been building their main POCs and ML applications from scratch. And my co-founder is Abhiram. He's working at Amazon AWS for their ML team. And we were one of the first people to build MCPs when it first came out. And I created like a Twitter MCP so that you can uh, create Twitter drafts, tweets, and post it right from Claude. And he
Wow.
built out a Todoist MCP, which got like over 17,000 installs. And our thesis was that people like the option. I mean, people like it when their AI, they can chat with their AI and plan out their day and ask the AI to create their to-do lists, organize their life for them, make things easier. And yeah, that's basically the quick one-line pitch.
Awesome.
Uh,
What questions do you specifically have for us?
I'm sorry, what? Yeah. My question was, should we go build with B2B focus or B2C focus? For like B2B, I was imagining something like where like people running startups can get all information about their company in that in the platform, and just like how similar to how Notion is today, but with a personal assistant. So you can ask your personal assistant, talk to your teammates. Personal assistant can bring a lot of context together and not lose sight of some of the details that might slip through the cracks. Or B2C would be directly focused on like a Jarvis kind of product for the consumer.
Interesting.
And the second, which is
Was
just
someone mentioned? Well,
yeah, that was my main question. And the second question was whether we should focus as a, we would be a traction bet or team bet, whether we should go for some I mean, we would go for some traction as soon as possible. We've been working on this for a couple of weeks. We're building out our first MVP is right now. So yeah, those are my two main asks.
Well, the second one would definitely be a team bet, as there is no traction, and maybe you can get there.
Mhm.
But by the time you're doing this, you won't. But you should be trying to build something as quick as you can and getting it out there to get like feedback on it. So definitely team bet, and I liked what you had to say here. I think it's a strong team bet.
Okay.
So
Any
also
thoughts?
elevate that in your slides if you were to get onto the second round.
Okay. Any thoughts about the idea or some?
They're going to say this or they're going to ask it, which is what's the moat? There basically isn't a moat. So you're going to try to be first best at something,
Mhm.
and you have to figure out how to differentiate yourself in the market.
Yeah. And yeah. I mean, I thought the main mode with like more than Notion, I feel like Notion is focused on like the building software as Legos part, and I feel like ChatGPT or eating us would be a bigger fear. And I thought the moat would be to offer the third-party AI offerings like Perplexity. Like you give the AI marketplace, you give the Perplexity, ChatGPT, Anthropic, all the different tools. I don't think the ChatGPT would offer like those third-party things right now. They're focused on their own building out their own products and just offering them in their platform. So I thought that might be the mode. Any thoughts on that?
Isn't ChatGPT
Do
doing that, right?
yeah, they are. Do a like 4 hour research, just Googling every possible keyword, going on every Reddit, subreddit to try to find. There are several companies doing something in this way, the Zapier of AI. So check out those and then figure out how to refine your pitch.
Yeah, our pitch was more on the productivity side where you have like a notes and it organizes your notes. You can talk to it like an assistant. You can ask it questions about the day. You can ask, I mean, basically, it's like a voice note taking app as well.
wait, so does this exist or not?
I, I mean, I don't think it
No, your
exists.
product. Does your product exist or no?
We're currently building it out.
You're building out right now. Okay, okay.
We're adding out the. I mean, we're currently in the stage of building out the auto organizing functionality. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, I think the Ste- S- Wait, is it Stefan or Steven? Sorry.
Steven.
Sorry, what?
No.
Steven. Steven. Yeah, sorry. To Steven's point, I think it's like that is probably not a moat. I think like
Okay.
even if you look at the history of Notion, they don't really have a moat. And it was a pretty bumpy ride. I think a lot of people kind of like glorify that, like, oh, Notion was, wow, look, they really focused on design and they really differentiated from the market. Notion should be dead. They went through many fundraising rounds and it was absolute hell to get to where they were today. And most of the ones that copied Notion are dead, and Notion just somehow magically got through. So I I think just acknowledge that you have to just go to market faster than anyone, and truly there is not a moat. Because I think this is something that Paul Graham talked about early on at YC, is like whenever a YC candidate came around and said my differentiation is integrations, it was an automatic no.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
But so that like the idea is good. I'm not saying to say don't work on this, but I think to all of our points, just find maybe a niche or a little bit of a focus, or honestly prove everyone wrong and go viral on Twitter. That's like the dumbest thing for me to say, but like has worked 10 out of 10 times for other companies, which is so stupid. Like, there was that like kid at Columbia who got kicked out of Columbia for making that like app that basically cheats people getting into Fang or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
stupid idea, just plugged into a GPT API, boom, got a term sheet out of nothing. So went viral on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thanks.
All right. Who's next?
All right. Yeah, sorry, it's me. Good to see you guys again. Thanks
Hey.
for making the time. My brain is a bit fried because it's literally 4 a.m. in Europe, so
Oh my God.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
so sorry. Sorry.
No,
Shoot. Oh my
no.
gosh.
Yeah, so excuse me if some things don't run as smoothly. Right. So I'm gonna just briefly tell you what the idea is. So I love shopping. Sounds very silly, but I think shopping could be more enjoyable. And like the obvious reason for that is because when you go on a regular retailer's website, you're just bombarded with the overload on the website. There's too much selection and it's really not curated, not personalized. And what Threadly essentially is, I don't know if, okay,
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
it's my
someone
sound.
mute?
Feedback too.
Yeah, if you're not Milena, can you mute yourself, please?
Or I will mute you. And you don't want that.
What was it? I didn't really get why I'm echoing.
It was other people talking, not you echoing.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a second. Yeah, so it's sort of like if you're going on the website trying to find the item that you want, you have the perfect vision in mind. And yeah, let's say if the person doesn't find it, they just bounce off the website, which implies that the person would the merchant is losing sales. So sorry. I'm really, really tired.
Good.
And then on the other side, on the other hand, the merchants could be making more use of what the users actually like. And just give me a second. So okay, I'll just stitch this and maybe do it
No,
somehow else.
this makes sense. You're basically like you're saying like the feeds are broken, right? Instead of like doom scrolling on like
Exactly.
websites or like having Instagram basically manipulate the shit out of you, you're like, hey, there's something else here.
Yeah, thanks for helping out, Leo. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, the way it works is that we're asking users for their Pinterest mood boards. I'm somebody, I think like a big part of fashion community, especially amongst the females, they're proactively on Pinterest, and you have the perfect vision curated in mind. So basically what you want to shop for, in fact, is your fashion inspiration. And you don't want to copy paste the specific items. You just want to find something that matches your aesthetic, your vibe, or whatever you're, aspiring to dress like. And that's exactly what Threadly solves. This is like a European retailer. I just say, what if Pinterest and Zalando had a baby? That's what Threadly basically would be. I'll just skip the slides, but yeah. So on one hand, you just have a tool that it's like a free tool for the users that are able to get the recommendations that they want, the curation that they want, and on the other hand, we're selling these data insights to merchants so they know also what to produce, how much to stock on what, like on which items. Jorts were on the rise, like starting from a few years ago, but I feel like a lot of businesses and merchants missed out on it because they weren't very data driven. And by just like tracking the insight that we're receiving from, let's say, people pinning specific images on Pinterest boards, and this is data that they share, we're able to also better provide info on the businesses, okay, what to stock on, how much to stock on, and that essentially, also solves partly the overproduction problem in the fashion industry, and just, is a smarter inventory decision.
Gotcha.
So it was kind of all over the place.
No, you're good. What can we help out with?
Yeah, so basically, this guy, it's like not a college project, but I'm still in college and I went through university incubation track. And since I thought it's better to take a step back to figure out, okay, what's really the business model, and before starting building anything, just really understanding what's the go-to-market strategy and everything. I wanted to be able to show some sort of traction, but then the truth is, I was wondering what you guys think about this. I am thinking of starting like a TikTok campaign, and then just having like a regular landing page asking for people to sign up if they're interested, just to test it out as soon as it's live. And I was wondering if that's a good idea to show that, okay, let's say we launched in a campaign for 2 weeks, and within 2 weeks we had, let's say, 1,500 people that gave their email because they're interested to try this out as soon as it's live. And I was wondering, if this could add value to the traction part. Obviously, it's not going to be a full traction bet because it's just me and my friend, and my friend is, it's more of a team bet, and we don't have prior startup founding experience since, sorry, I'm like barely awake. But he is studying, he's doing his master's in AI, and he's worked on a few really cool projects, and he's just helping me out more doing like cost estimations. So I was just wondering,
Yeah.
what do you suggest? How do you recommend approaching it? Like, what are the next steps that I could take to have, I don't know, I'd say a stronger base to send the app in, sort of.
Yeah, I think like definitely like there are many ways of showing traction. And it doesn't have to be necessarily the common metric of ARR. It doesn't have to be money. You can show traction through demand in the market, and that can be exactly what you're talking about, right? It could be a tweet, it could be a TikTok, whatever it might be. It could be signups, and I think to the point you made earlier, like consolidation of time plus a lot of interest is a really good metric, and if you can prove that out, that's really positive. So you're totally spot on. In terms of the product itself, the problem I think is there, and that's something that I've heard about. There's a challenge when it comes to browser use, and the direction that a lot of AI companies are going, and that like, oh, AI will go do things for you. But there's an acknowledgement in the space that for certain tasks that humans like to do and like to spend time on, such as browsing, there's not a clear solution there, and there's a lot in the market. So if you can kind of fit yourself into that problem, that common track point that I've heard about, and then show some traction via interest, I think that's solid. I don't know if you guys have any other feedback.
I have personally used Claude I dropped screenshots of items I liked, and I used Claude to look for brands that would resonate.
Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah,
it
There's
does.
kind of people in our batch that had like style 3D renderings of clothing on you, and
you know,
I enjoyed
Atorie,
that.
right? There is a fashion company in 4 that is doing something not quite the same, but it's doing luxury fashion that is highly personalized.
Is that shop Rodeo? I'm not sure how it's pronounced.
Atorie.
Atorie, okay. Yeah, because I think they were also in, maybe not in your batch, but a different batch, but I came across a company somewhere, so I was wondering if it's that one. I'd appreciate if you would just drop a link, because I might misspell it.
Yeah, I dropped it in YouTube. I'll paste it here.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it a lot. Thanks, guys. I'll let the next person go ahead.
Yeah, but go do that TikTok campaign. I think you're gonna find like a lot of results. And then also just a theme for everyone to just keep in mind. You don't have to rush to submitting your application, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be no the sooner does not mean the better, right? I think in many
Mm-hmm.
things in life it is, but not here. You know, if it means like you take the next 2 weeks to get 1,000 signups, a significantly better shot of getting in than if you just submitted the application today.
Also, trying the cohort you're trying to get into to pick the city that you want best. LA has more
Yeah, that's
fashion,
true.
so literally time for the LA cohort versus the
Mm.
SF cohort.
Okay, that's a good one. Thanks for bringing that up. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks. All right, who's next?
I think
Oh,
it's
I also
me,
have two
actually.
cameras.
Hi, I'm Sam. I think
Wait,
I'm up
who's
next.
were you who's next on the
Sam's
Yep.
next.
Sam, you're next.
Yep.
Okay, go for it,
That's
Sam.
me.
Sorry.
All right, no worries. Yeah, thanks. Actually, those last couple of tips would have come in handy because I didn't know how to time it, and I put in my application just a few days ago, and I already got rejected. So this may be largely moot.
I mean,
I
you
don't
could
know
try
if you're
another
allowed.
one.
You can always try again.
Yeah,
Right,
no one's
that was
gonna
resubmit. Okay.
just do a different email. I mean, I didn't say that, but
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Let me just share a window here, and I'll just briefly describe what we're doing and see if you guys have any feedback. So we are a largely bootstrapped startup. Let me just go to view slideshow. That should work. Yep. Everybody can see that okay?
yep.
Okay. So our thesis is that we should be making media smarter for folks, and that all videos becoming searchable. So
Yep.
we're software that runs on premise or
Yep.
in private clouds. It looks like this is auto advancing. I'll just hit pause here. We did $1.1 million in revenue last year. We're
Wow.
going to do neighborhood of 1.5 million this year. We're actually cash flow positive, so that's a cool thing. And we just had a show actually a week ago with like tons and tons of interest and likely orders and stuff. So our business is growing. It's basically video search for pros. And this market of like where AI meets video is projected to have like a 35% CAGR over the next decade.
Did they give any
Uh,
feedback on why they rejected you?
None. It was just boom, pretty quick.
Interesting.
But that's all right. Anyway, so I mean, we're also very busy. So I was doing this kind of as a lark. So if we don't get in, it's not the end of the
That's
world.
a lark.
But I
To
mean,
to the rejection point, they
yeah,
have between like 7 and 15,000 applicants, and
right.
they only accepted my batch was 35, the next batch was less than 50.
Right.
So, and some of the other companies that got in, the founders had had multiple 100 million exits. So
Right.
just because you didn't get into the micro 50 batch doesn't mean that you weren't in the top 200.
Okay. But it was anyway, it was a quick cycle time, so we didn't waste too much time on it. So that's always a good thing. So the thing that's driving this is that media creation is experiencing a ton of compression of time. Used to be people would work on these projects and shoot them and edit them. Now it's like, I need a post for social. I need it this afternoon. What do you have? Cut, cap cut, out it goes. And in that context, you have to be able to quickly find the relevant material. You can't just rummage around. We have a lot of big name customers already. And the size of our deals is also growing. So we just closed a 6-figure deal recently, actually a 5-figure deal in the Philippines. It's definitely a thing, but whether it's a venture scale thing is to be determined. The key functionality of what we do is that our software helps people find stuff in their videos, and overlaying it, we do scene understanding and semantic search so that they can do approximate searches for what they're looking for. We have 18 people in the company. A bunch of us have run multi-million-dollar businesses, including
wow.
sort of high growth businesses in this space. Sorry, go ahead. Is there a question?
Oh no, it's just saying wow. Awesome. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. This is one of our customers in Malaysia. That was a 6-figure deal. This is the top soccer team in Belgium. They're customers of ours. And our architecture is deliberately very open and based on open source. So we use a lot of very standard components, and then we're able to kind of curate. There's so much good stuff happening right now on places like Hugging Face that the idea of doing like, we're going to do deep tech and develop the best video model in the world is just like naive and kind of stupid at this point. If you're not using what's out there, you're wasting huge amounts of money. And we, in fact, there are a couple of competitors of ours that have raised tens, and in one case, even $100 million, and are doing just that and kind of burning through the money. So what we're trying to do is build a real business around the intersection of the problem set and the available tech.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
My first question is, after the slides, can you show us your rejected application?
Yeah.
And my second question is, why are you raising?
Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't save it. I filled out the web form and hit send. So I didn't like put it in a Google Doc before I filled it out. But in terms of why we're raising, because we can, if you look at this growth curve, we can bootstrap and grow maybe 30 to 40% this year, but we'd like to raise a little money and grow 60 going on 80% year over year. Like, we can grow so much faster funded than unfunded. And that really is our main priority is rapid growth. And so we're trying to raise up to $3 million this year. And we figured that every chunk of about 200,000 will add 5% to our year-over-year growth rate. And we also have some acquisition opportunities, companies that we can acquire to grow a lot faster. But I realize that's, beyond the scope of this conversation. So that's kind of our deck.
Have you pitched directly to traditional VCs? Have you pitched to Sequoia or anyone else?
Not lately. I mean, we did earlier in our development, but we haven't been viewed as VC candidates because of our low growth rate. We only grew 20% last year. And I realize that's a lot harder to do bootstrap than VC back, but they're always like, if it's not triple digits, we're not interested.
Interesting.
So for perspective,
someone makes a good point. They say don't proactively concede that it may not be a VC opportunity, but I'm pretty certain it's not a VC opportunity at this point. Like, I mean, it could be a VC opportunity with appropriate funding, but without appropriate funding, it's not worth having in the conversation, really.
for perspective, imagine Speedrun as a pressure cooker, where you're trying to determine all the reasons why the company cannot succeed in 3 months and determine why it can. So if you're doing 5 to 10% growth a year, what would a speed run with only $1 million in funding give you to bump you up to like 150% a year?
Well, we're doing 30% this year organically, and I think Speedrun could bump us up to like 60 to 100%. I don't think that logistically we could get into true triple digits with $1 million, but I think we could get into high double digits.
Okay.
I think we need 2 or 3 million to get into triple digits, which is not a crazy thing these days. That's a seed round, but so far we haven't had a seed round.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably a more unique situation, but yeah, like I don't even know if an accelerator is a right bet for you. Like, but again, I we're not here to make decisions for you.
No, of course. But I mean, look, I'll try reapplying and maybe phrase it a little differently, or swizzle it.
Well, I feel like you could like go to traditional, like you could just talk to VCs directly. I don't think you need an accelerator.
Got it.
Like if you're raising like 2 to 3 mil and you already have like $1 mil coming in, I get the growth. The growth is definitely going to be the thing that people are concerned about, right? If they're expecting, if you pour 2 or 3 mil onto this thing and it's like, oh, now it goes from 20% growth to 40, like that's a pretty shit ROI.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but we're thinking it'll go from like 30 to 90 or something, which is better.
My last bit of feedback is pitch directly to a 6 and Z.
Yep.
Skip Speedrun.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and raise 3 million.
Sounds good. All right. Advice taken. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Thanks.
Next,
That's me.
Prince. Go for it.
Yeah. So funny story. I actually also got rejected from Speedrun, but I made it to the video demo, and I'm not making any money. So surprisingly, I got further than Sam. Yeah, I'll share my screen and my pitch deck. Cool. So what I'm building is essentially it's StudyVerse. It's AI tutoring infrastructure. Oh, God damn it. Give me one second. AI tutoring infrastructure that turns learning into a multiplayer video game. So a little bit of background into me. I graduated from university around 3 years ago. And in that time, I actually didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a doctor. And while I was there, I was working at multiple test prep companies, including Kaplan, including a boutique MCAT firm known as Jack Weston. And there I kind of noticed a problem that these guys weren't solving. And the problem was that all of the things they were offering, like tutors, classes, and self-study, they were actually really ineffective engaging what a student knows and doesn't know. Because like, say, for example, when I was teaching a class at Kaplan, I had dozens of students, and each individual student runs and listens at their own pace. And I never knew where any of those students stood because I was too busy teaching the class. So personalized attention to that student was impossible. And for the students at Kaplan that had tutors, they only met with the tutor like once or twice a week. So, and they were expensive. For example, it was $9,000 for 30 hours with a tutor at Kaplan. So tutors were expensive and they had limited insight. And so one of the other issues that kind of came because of tutors is because students in general struggle to self-assess, which means that students don't really know what they don't know. They end up presenting really like inaccurate snapshots. Let me move this out of the way. They present like flawed snapshots of the knowledge to tutors. So for example, a student would tell me, hey, I'm really weak in biology. And I'd be like, okay, sure, I'll teach you biology, right? Even though they don't know anything about physics, for example, which means that they just spend a bunch of money on a really inefficient tutoring session, right? And so the solution to this problem is that tutoring is not necessarily a human problem. It's actually more of a software problem because software can act as an intermediary to personalize a student's learning and present accurate information to instructors. Because when a tutor is with a student, and let's say they're tutoring for like an hour a week, the student is spending like 9 hours studying. So instead, just be the platform that students study on. So when you have a platform that students study on, that could be an intermediary so you can get accurate information to the tutor. For example, a student does poorly in physics on this little according to this test. And so now I know, okay, cool, I'm a tutor in physics. So that means an efficient tutoring session. And another thing that's beneficial about the system is that my tutoring sessions or the tutoring sessions of my tutors actually end up training the system again. So it's kind of like recursive. So that way, students that aren't using tutors, the system can actually accurately tutor them as well. So it's kind of like a like two like distributions essentially. It's like the software can tutor, but also the tutor, it also teaches the tutor to tutor better. So this kind of engaging tutoring software is a massive market. And so where we're starting is actually the medical school's admissions test as kind of a beachhead. So I could go into this later, and so this is not a problem that's new. Actually, like tutoring software has been trying to solve this problem since the 80s. The field is called ITS. And the only like big competitor here is, or like the big ITS that made it to market was Alex. Alex had 25 million students tutored in K to 12. It was a market leader. If you look at the reviews on SiteJabber, it has 1.1 out of 5 stars. And the actual research consensus was that it never really actually helped more than classes. It was basically as effective as classes, and classes aren't that effective. So what we built actually to make things more engaging was actually tutoring software that put an agentic tutor in like a social video game and starting with the medical college admissions test. So what this contains is an agentic tutor that knows what a student knows and doesn't know and tailors content in real time, as well as our revenue generating model is actually a coin economy, kind of like a microtransaction system. That way it rewards progress, drives engagement, and collects data, kind of like Duolingo. And if I wanted to show you what the product kind of looks like, it looks like this. The
Okay.
students press.
Sorry, I think your microphone cut out for a sec.
Oh shit. How's it now?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, so essentially what this is like when you get on TikTok and it like slowly understands what grabs your attention, this slowly understands what grabs your weaknesses. So students can just press play and watch videos, flashcards, readings based upon this content. They
Gotcha.
win coins, lose coins, they compete with their friends. So essentially it's like turning turning learning into a social video game that you can play with your friends and challenge other people on.
Okay.
And that's
What's the current traction of what you built so far?
Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad you asked. So the traction is okay. Yeah, it works. Some student used it and they increased their score chances of getting in like 8 times. Students average 3 hours a day on the platform. That's an average, which is wildly beyond edtech averages. We literally just made 3 Reddit posts on r/MCAT, and we got to 687 users. And most of our traffic was pre-meds sending to other pre-meds. So we literally just spent, our CAC is the 30 minutes it took me to make each Reddit post, essentially. And yeah, that's kind of the traction so far. It's not very much, I would say.
Okay, so well, I won't dive too much into it. What question do you have specifically for us? What can we help out with?
Yes. Okay. So I'm kind of I'm kind of in a pickle right now where like I so it is ultimately tutoring like infrastructure. It's a way for like the way that I envision it working is basically B2B software or B2B to C software where like universities can kind of have a platform where they can get real-time analytics and deliver content. However, I, I I can't decide whether I want to be a B2C product or a B2B product and sell to tutoring firms. And kind of, I'm kind of like stuck in this place where like I need to prove myself as a B2C product before I can get the traction I need or the evidence that I need that I work so I can go to B2B companies. Does that make sense?
I see.
So I'm kind of in this weird place where I don't know what to commit to. Does that make sense?
Not sure if going B2C as a wedge to go into B2B is the best route.
It sounds like you need to choose one of the others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm considering doing is that there's this like small tutoring firm that wants to partner with us and they have tutors but they don't have like a platform, and I'm debating whether or not I should like just build for them, because ultimately like my goal is to go to universities and kind of build a platform that like allows them to automatically create content, automatically like deliver content in real time to their students, and have like an agentic tutor besides every student. So do you think one of the better strategies for me is instead of B2C, go straight B2B and then prove I can do it for a tutoring firm and then go to
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How does a tutor make money?
on a tutor on the platform? Oh, like in general?
A traditional tutor.
A tutor generally makes money is they sign on to a tutoring firm, and the tutoring firm sends them a client, and they get paid per hour with that client. At Jack Weston charged $300, and
Yes.
yeah.
So if you made a platform that got rid of half the tutors, would tutors want to use this?
So I'm actually really glad you asked. And one of the problems, I think one of the things is tutors aren't really like, their whole thing is not just like I'm teaching you. It's more like it's like a human being that's accountable for this test alongside with you. And it's not like this because the students are using this platform and it automatically real time figures out what's wrong with a student. A tutor will actually get those reports, so they can be like, oh shit! Instead of spending 30 minutes trying to figure out what's wrong with the student, I have this report of everything the students weekend, like what they're missing, how they were reasoning through passages, so their sessions can just be more efficient. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Slightly wordy, but yes.
Okay.
So same thing with university. University makes money by having students stay longer.
Yeah.
Not necessarily by having better students. And if
Right.
you create a tool that runs in class settings that competes with their professors, they will not use it.
it doesn't necessarily compete with the professors. The main thing the main problem I'm trying to solve is that what do they do when they get out of that class? Where do they go to learn? And how does that professor or slash tutor get better insights into that student's actual learning?
This sounds more like direct to consumer.
Agreed.
So B2C is what I'm hearing.
Yes, you want to be the Duolingo for higher learning.
I wouldn't use that term, but yeah, I think that makes sense. So it's smarter for me to go B2C than B2B because I'm not competing with their model. But
Correct.
But universities and tutoring firms would benefit from knowing how the student's learning. So wouldn't that benefit them more?
No,
No,
they want to sell books that cost $150.
that is
Agreed. Totally agree. Yeah, no, I
okay.
1000% agree with this. Don't go to schools. There's no incentive alignment for this.
Okay, that makes
Also,
sense.
like, I mean, like the longer term vision could be like you're building the agentic tutor, not selling the data to the tutors to make them better. I feel like there's different play, but the D2C is definitely the approach.
Well, the thing I'm curious about is that like people are trying to make agentic everything, but I mean, how do you know what makes a really good tutor unless you like learn from the tutors themselves? So this framework that I saw earlier about like it training the system, I would need tutors, right? Otherwise, I'm just kind of like using my own perspective on what makes a good tutor and then making.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about that. You could hire a tutor to help you. Like,
Yeah, I guess you could
model.
hire a tutor too if you really want to. But I mean, right now, most students in universities seem to just use ChatGPT as their tutor anyway. I'd say the tutoring market is probably maybe for tests it's doing fine, but I wouldn't. I mean, there's a reason why like Chegg is getting absolutely like fucked in the market right now.
Right. Yeah, they are. Okay. So what you're saying is that this that what's my moat against ChatGPT? Or like why is this
No,
different
no.
from
Well,
ChatGPT?
I also don't want to. I don't want to focus on this too much. I think we did answer your question. Like we can have more of a conversation around it, but you did ask B2B versus B2C. I think all three of us would have B2C. Oh, I mean, I didn't do that. Wait, what?
Whoa. No, that's just the people left. There are 9 people with their hands raised.
No, I think he quit.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, that
Nice.
was an accident. I meant
That
I meant
was
to
best.
stop.
the screen share.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Yeah, that would be the I think the response to that one.
Sure.
Cool. Who is up next? Unmute yourself so I don't have to look at this. I think it's Anna or Anna, one of the two. How do you pronounce it?
I want to go.
Helium.
Hi
Yeah,
guys. Okay.
Wait. Who is up next? I think it was Anna, right?
I don't know.
This is Anna Ramirez. This is next.
All right, Anna Ramirez, you're up.
Okay. Oh wait.
We both are presenting the same template. And
Oh.
Oh, you're both the same.
I
Okay.
get it.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, no.
Okay. So, am I gonna do it or not? Yeah. Couldn't listen.
One of you.
One of you, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's me. Okay.
You
Fine.
guys can choose.
So I'm gonna share my screen here. Wait. I think there is a problem with the screen. Maybe someone else can try it, and I will do the next one. Sorry, it's not gonna show.
Let me share that. Let me share.
Oh yeah. Okay. Please do. It's alright.
And while you're getting ready, I think just one piece of advice for everyone to practice during this moment, when writing your application, when going in the interview, conciseness matters so much, right? Like if it takes 5 minutes to pitch something, I guarantee it's a no. I would put $1,000 on saying it's a no. Keeping it concise is just it's so critical, and the way that you can do that is talking here and seeing, all right, what's kind of the vibe, and then recording yourself and playing it back and timing yourself to be short with responses is important. But go for it, Anna.
Okay, so our product name is Reception. Our team is distributed around the world. We provide the first line of defensive Web3, our problem is smart contracts are power critical Web3 applications, but we remain highly vulnerable to exploits, costing billions in losses annually. Here is the last year report where we can see the Hacken 2024 web security report, and the solution that we built is we leverage advanced AI to scan smart contracts in real time for vulnerabilities and offer a reCAPTCHA-like API to verify their security. And about our team experience and why we choose to work together, we are the right team to solve this problem because our deep expertise in blockchain security, AI, and Web3 development. Our team includes a smart contract auditor, AI researcher, and experienced Web3 developers who have worked on high impact projects. Unlike traditional security audits, we use AI driven real time vulnerability detection and reCAPTCHA like API to make smart contract security seamless and scalable. Our hands on experience with real world exploits and commitment to a proactive security solution position us to build the first line of defense for Web3.
Gotcha.
Okay, so when we started working on this project was last year in August, on August 2024. The primary category is Web3. The secondary category, can you go down a little bit?
Gotcha. Okay. Quick
Yep.
quick question here.
Let me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Quick question.
Yep.
What's your traction? Is the first question, and then
Okay.
yeah, like where's the product right now in terms of metrics? Like who's using it? Is it live? Is it a real product, or is it still in the idea phase?
No, we already
So
built it.
currently,
It's in
basically, we are in prototype phase.
yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
are
can
currently
go
in
both
further.
prototype
of you are
phase.
talking at the same time. Just one of you speak,
Oh,
please.
yep.
I just can't hear you guys.
Currently, we are. Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So currently, basically, we are in prototype phase, and our traction, basically, we haven't currently a user adoption yet, but we are planning to encourage our user adoption, as well as we want to demonstrate our proven use cases where we enhance our platform usability, as well as show our security improvements.
Wait. So
Also, we want to,
sorry. Do you have a product that works today or
yeah,
not?
yeah,
You
I can
do.
show you.
Okay. And there's a what and there's no one using it right now, or are there people using it right now?
No, currently we don't have a market. Basically, a user adoption.
But so you have a product that works, but no one's using it. Why is no one using it?
So currently, basically, we are in development phase. Our AI model is currently, we are developing it. We have trained it just for one vulnerability currently, reentrancy.
Okay,
And apart
so
from that, we are training it for more.
I do have a Web3 background. I'll jump in. Who are you selling to? Are you selling to developers or are you selling to end users?
We will be basically selling it to both users as well as developers, where basically we can, users can just scan their smart contracts. Basically, developers can scan their smart contracts, as well as websites can use our platform to basically scan the basically scan the security of their platforms, the smart contracts.
Okay,
Basically.
so have you looked at the Web3 space? If it's a user using this, have you heard of like Blowfish, WalletGuard, and any other
Yep,
Pocket
we are
Universe,
basically.
any of the others?
Yep, we
So
have. Yep.
so if you're competing with all of them, you enough. So A6 and Z funded another one called Stello, which shut down.
Okay.
This is, and I know the founders. I also met some other founders. This is a very, very zero. This is basically a zero margin space. Developers in crypto don't pay for anything. Users in crypto won't pay for security. At the very minimum, the integrations in MetaMask use their own internal systems that are scanning all contracts every single time a contract is uploaded in every single block.
Okay.
Yeah, from a technical perspective, you can't sell to the two markets in crypto.
Okay. So basically, we are developing it for both the markets, but we also have a API-based interface. which makes us unique in this perspective. We're developing an API which will basically scan the smart contracts and pass them whether they are safe or not. So we are also developing on that perspective as well.
But can you're building a product that offers no guarantees to its capability?
We are currently we will be basically developing our own LLM model. We are training it for specifically for smart contract vulnerabilities. So with improvement in that, I think it will be able to track the smart contracts, basically security of the smart contracts, and will enhance in the future. What I think is
Right. So you're attempting to make a antivirus
yeah,
for crypto.
not kind of antivirus, but basically kind of basically a product which will basically scan the smart contracts. It
Yes.
you can think of it as a scanner which will pass whether the smart contracts will be are currently safe or not. Kind of
And
that one. Yeah.
what is your monetization model?
So our monetization model is basically subscription based. We will offer free trials as well as monthly and yearly subscriptions, which will be on demand or enterprise based. And apart from that, revenue will come from the API access as well as security features, advanced security features.
Right. So my last bit of feedback is Blowfish try this. Blowfish created an API. Stella tried this. Stella created an API. They created a simulation engine. It's not a technical problem. So AI models don't help. Add an API is not the solution. Look closer into the market and identify how you're going to get users first.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly I don't know the Web3 space as well, so I'd defer.
Yeah, I don't know it enough, but I know that there is a lot of competition, and I kind of googled it while I was doing this. I see a lot of competition. I didn't really understand the wedge in or why you're different or your data moat or any sort of moat. Maybe Andreessen would, but they're backing other companies, so I think you'd really have to go on a team play or something. But I would probably reevaluate this and understand your GTM and proving that it works before going forward.
Yeah, and
So,
then
and
could
basically any feedback on how we can make it more different or separate from others uh, in the basically security space, Web3 security space.
yeah, it sounds like I'm just gonna kind of summarize what what I heard from these two is like
Okay.
one, get firm on your differentiation from the current market and what's been done in the past and what has failed in the past. Why are you different now? And then two, I think in your team document, I think you're kind of alluding to this. It was a bit vague also in terms of like what actually is your background and why are you the expertise in this. It seemed like I didn't, I'm not here to harp on like brand names or anything, but it did mention once of like where you've worked in the past or names of companies or things you've shipped. It kind of was like a lot of adjectives, and I was like, okay, but what? So I don't know. Those are two things. I would rework it. You can send it back to us, but uh, answer those two questions.
Okay, cool. Got it.
All right. Who's next?
Hi,
Margaret.
hi, how are you? Hi,
Doing good.
everybody. Nice to meet you, and thank you for this opportunity. Um, Let me just touch my presentation. Um, Let me share my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay. Um, Hi, I'm Margaret Cesar. Right now, content creation is broken. Content creators juggle 7 to 12 disconnected tools, so tool fatigue is so real. From ideation in Notion to design in Canva to scheduling in Hootsuite, it's slow, chaotic, and overwhelming. Agile Latina fixes that. My product, Angelina, is an all-in-one content creator tool shop. I'm building a unified workspace that takes creators from idea to execution with AI-assisted planning, design, collaboration, and publishing in one smooth pipeline. It's like having Notion, Canva, ChatGPT, and Bopper all talking to each other, but built for how creators actually work. My business model is SaaS plus infra with premium automation, template marketplaces, and creator revenue share. With 150 million creators globally and rising tool fatigue, the market's screaming for simplification. And I'd like Athena to provide that exceptional solution. Agile Athena won't be just another tool. It's the near future of frictionless creativity. So let's make content flow and not fragment. Thank you. And yeah,
Awesome.
open for questions.
This is all right.
What can we help you with? What are you
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
for?
What can we help you with?
Um, my question is something different. I would like to know how's your experience during the cohort at A16.
Um, like just like what did we get out of it, like in our specific cohort?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think each of us probably took away from it that was different. I really liked the one-on-one experience you get, and you can kind of read this in some of our LinkedIn blog posts. The office hours and things that your cohort lead runs are very helpful to help start your business at different stages. They
Mm-hmm.
provide you with a lot of resources, connecting you with contractors or connecting you with people that can help, customers. Basically, they help you get your business from 0 to 1. So there's a lot of tactical resources. Obviously, there's also money.
Okay, okay, that's nice. That sounds good. How did you feel? Is it pressure? Is it a lot of pressure or just okay?
It's a ton
Is
of
the
pressure.
It's
four
very much.
minutes
Yeah.
2 months? Is it enough?
It it's 3 months and it's meant to be a pressure cooker. Right? It's
Oh,
like you're 3 months and you're not sleeping.
and it's structured. Yeah,
Very much so.
Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what do you think about my idea?
I think at a high level, like my just high level feedback would be get more specific into like, you said it's I don't have the slides in front of me, but it's something like all in one. I thought at the top it's like a one-stop shop for creators. I think narrow it
Creator.
down a little bit more to what does it do for what category of people, and make it really easy to understand. Of it doesn't have to be as like, everyone jokes of like, oh, it's like Uber for dogs. It's like, no, that's not. But it's like it's this for this, and get it down
Mm-hmm.
to that one liner as concise as possible.
Okay, I see. I see. Gotcha. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone had any other feedback.
That's yeah, it pretty much summarizes it, I would say.
Yeah. And then are you in the space of like, is this a built product or are you pitching an idea?
I'm pitching an idea. I just
Okay.
built it 1 week ago.
Gotcha. Yeah. Then I would take I think I gave some like previous feedback about try and find traction through validation in the market. If you can post somewhere on the internet or go talk to, people outside of a grocery store or find someone who's in your space or, I know some people have done some brute marketing of like just talking to random people on the side of the road, trying to just show that like, oh, there are people that want this in some form of validation. Use the internet to your advantage. And that goes a long way to show that this could turn into a viable product as opposed to just being like, oh, I think this idea exists. It's like, well, you're only one person. Find like 200 other people that also agree.
I see. I see. Gotcha. Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's it. Cool. Awesome. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see who's next in line. Drake. Dick.
Hey.
Sorry, I thought
Hey,
it was
Liam.
Drake for a second. I was like, wait a minute, we got Drake out here. No.
Yeah, I just gotta drop the R. No problem. Actually, we spoke maybe a year ago, Liam. I actually went to IU too, and I think we
Oh,
chatted about
yeah.
how we both we're a PM intern at Microsoft, and we're
Yes.
like building stuff at IU, so that was pretty cool.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wait, where were you at? Did we do like a video call or something? You were in Bloomington at that time? What was it?
I think it was just a phone call, so
Just
I
a
don't
phone
think
call.
my
Okay.
face is recognizable for you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember his chat. That's awesome. Sweet. Well, yeah. Hell yeah. All right. What do you got cooking?
Cool. Yeah, let me share my screen. This might be of interest to you because I actually made it based off of some pain points that I saw as a PM, and
Nice.
feel like the pain point resonates pretty well with other PMs I've spoken to too. Uh, but basically, I'm building a second browser for your work, or a second brain for your browser slash work.
All right.
The pain point is, especially as PMs, you have like 40 different tabs, 20 different tools open, and a lot of the times you're losing track of your context of what you did, why it matters, maybe the relationships of like different tabs you're working out of. And sometimes you think, you lost the context, but in reality, it's there. It's just hidden, right? Like even now you can see like me trying to clean up in my Arc browser, I still have like 12 different tabs, right? And so maybe the idea is a bit better to understand with like this mockup I have. So imagine like you start off your day as a PM, you get this like recap of what you worked on yesterday and why with like reference material, right? And then you start your workday, so you can start capturing. And the whole time, it's basically watching your keyboard actions, your DOM interactions. It's watching screenshot and like screen behavior changes. Just like trying to piece together what you're doing and the intent, like minute by minute, right? And so maybe it's lunchtime now. You want to summarize what you did from morning to lunch, and it'll have this like one liner on what the summary is, and then also action items. And that's basically like the sort of wedge I'm going with right now. But I'll take a pause there.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Does that I guess like on the context piece, like did that resonate with you, Liam, working at Microsoft and Google?
Vibe coder W. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think this is definitely it's a common challenge that people have. The there I don't know the market that well. I would guess if it's based on screenshots. I mean, like Microsoft Recall, right, does it at an operating system level, something similar, I'm assuming. Where it's essentially taking screenshots, but you're kind of doing it within Chrome and probably like at a higher rate, and then you can process it later. Um, the the cha- the asks I would have for you is to think a bit longer term. This is the wedge. What's the final vision here? I see you kind of talked a bit about like what is the your second brain. That was really compelling, and then I got to it's taking screenshots in the background. I was like, wait a minute, there's got to be more than this. So I would in your application talk about the long term vision, and then this is just the beginning of it, and express it that way. That would be my quick feedback.
Yeah, I guess like the one liner on the long-term vision is it'll connect all the context between your different AI apps. Like with all these MCP integrations, right? Maybe your ChatGPT now understands like your Figma files, right? Or it understands your Confluence PRDs, but doesn't understand like how does this, Microsoft Teams or like Slack chat relate to this ticket from like a week ago. It's about that like sort of like global context layer, but I don't know. I'm sort of like early in the phase, still working on the product, but love that feedback. So thank you.
Have you looked at Rewind.ai?
Rewind? Yeah.
That's good call. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I think they rebranded to Limitless or Limitless though for like wearables that like watches and listens to your daily life. I think that's the one, right?
Yes. But the product Rewind. So this is Rewind for just the browser?
Yeah, correct.
How complex would be for you to expand to be a direct Rewind competitor?
As in like the wearables component or?
Not the wearable component.
Well, I guess the one thing that's missing now is I don't have like a meeting assistant. I feel like that might be worth building out later, but there's already like Atorie and like these transcription tools for AI note taking. But right now it's like capturing all your context other than meetings, I guess. So the idea is like maybe you're writing emails and then that's like how it'll pull action items of like when you're communicating with people. It'll like make this to-do list.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, I think like there is team bets and traction bets. This will be a team bet. Talk about the vision, lean into the vision, lean into the team, and you've got a shot at something. But definitely try to acknowledge, or not acknowledge, but differentiate yourself from Microsoft Recall, retail. Like there's a few of these, like we gather data in the background and try to do action items. I mean, it happens on like Google Meet, right? I think differentiate yourself, right? And show a longer term vision, how this is a wedge into something else. And then maybe instead of just action items being the output, is there something that's, I don't want to use the buzzwords, but does something for you, agentic, whatever air quotes we want to put around it, but can it go the extra step as opposed to giving you more things to read? But I like the, how do I say this? The data that you're collecting is really valuable. It's what you do with it that is going to be the differentiator and the big moment.
Gotcha. Yeah, on that note, I guess my final question for you is, do you think something like this would be enough of a wedge? Because the idea here is later on, if you check this like action item, it just sends it to MCP server and does, the updating, the ticket, whatever for you. But if it doesn't have that, if it's just like an automated to-do list, do you think there's like value in that wedge, or do you think the MVP
That's
should like
interesting.
be expanded?
Oh, okay. So it's not so much of an action item. You're kind of just like hooking it over to an MCP server, right? So it's not really like it's not like a checkbox goes away. It's more like, can you do this for me?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
It
Wait,
will-
change that. Yeah, action item. Wrong word. Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll
Okay.
associate it too much with every other thing.
Yeah, this looks like a checklist to me of like, oh, now I've got shit I need to do.
Yeah,
Like, no,
reframe it as agents and MCP servers.
or just like do this for me or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would just
Okay.
immediately
Gotcha.
fix that, and then you've got something more interesting.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, 100% agree. I would do the same thing for your one-liner. Make it literally 5 words if you can. The do everything app. I don't know, whatever way you want to say it. But yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
That's a great advice as well. Yeah. Something that's, I feel like the trend of what I've seen in successful applications is where you're like, okay, I kind of know what that is, but I really want to know more because it seems like that could go in a cool direction. And the do everything app is a great idea. Cool. Who's next?
Is it me? I don't know. It says me on.
Yes, it is. Yep, go for it.
Hey, so just for context, we haven't actually applied yet, but we applied 4 times previously and got rejected 4 times. So I'm probably going to ask what am I actually doing wrong regarding this. So cool. I'll turn off. So hey, Neela, I'm the founder of New Canon, and we're essentially building the GitHub for lore, and we're here to supercharge interactive storytelling. This is just a bunch of stats on how interactive games is expensive and time-consuming, and that's because design has to orchestrate the core gameplay and the world, and you have to build quests, dialogues, encounters, decisions, backstories, etc. And teams are currently desperate and looking for solutions. This is just a bunch of stats on there. And we alleviate this problem by building powerful tools with like node-based UIs, a centralized lore repository, and AI-powered generation and search. We have a node-based unit interface that allows building complex branching narratives very quickly and allowing you to collaborate with your team and community. And we'll have features to enable virality, which allows you to do like publish modes to get traction on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and then they sell stories on our marketplace. Essentially, what we're building is a new canon for the new world because we fundamentally believe the next hit IP will be co-created by fans and communities, and it's like one of our core theses from one of our investors, and it's also one of the core theses from Jade Raymond, which essentially allows you to fork and remix your lore with our centralized lore repository, allows you to fork universes, create changes, and merge, and choose your own path. So this is basically just tech, so vector and graph databases to enable co-creation. and that gives you network effects, which has a B2B funnel and then a B2C funnel, because fundamentally fans are creators of, like fans are fans of other lore, and creators are fans. Sorry, let me rephrase this. Brands love creations and then become creators by going through the creation process, by being inspired by their lore, the lore and worlds of the IPs, and then building fan fiction essentially. And that becomes a really powerful exponential funnel. This is just our pricing structure, and this is how we'll do our marketplace. And this is just a simplified GTM. So this is a bunch of customer love. We have like 70 plus studios using it at the moment. We have a bunch of people from Riot, Activision Blizzard, and stuff like that also using it. And gaming is a massive industry. Entertainment is a much bigger one as well. And like this is competition. I'm going to skip over that. In terms of like our team, basically I've been building games since I was 8. I built and grew one of the largest esports websites in the world, and then I also was an analyst for Alliance, which won the European LCS in 2014. We are backed by a bunch of VC firms, and we've got a bunch of people on our advisory board. And yeah, that was our pitch deck, essentially. My question is, like, we have essentially a $17 million investment on the table at the moment, but like Speedrun is where I want to go, because all of our like gaming studios and all of that network is so exponentially more stronger for our product. I'm just wondering, what am I actually doing wrong here?
Wait. You have a $17 million offer, and you're thinking of taking Andreessen's $1 million offer over that?
Yeah, well, it's structured in like tranches of payments, right? So like, I'd rather get stuff upfront than like go through like tranche payments, and like it's kind of, what do you call, like you have to hit certain milestones and stuff like that. So
What are those
I don't know. It sounds like you have like milestones associated with it.
like uncapped safes?
No, it's a weird structure, which is why I would rather go through a standard VC kind of.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. What's the specific? Did you want feedback on the idea deck, or like just that $17 million offer? Because that seems too good to be true, but it sounds like you already have. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of conditions to that, right? So probably that's why we're thinking of applying again to Speedrun. But I've applied 4 times, so I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I'd, like, essentially have like
So
want some help.
you've applied 4 times, but then like have they given feedback?
Yeah, first time they said they don't know if OpenAI will just replicate this. Second time they don't know if there's a market for this. Third and fourth times we didn't get an interview.
Huh.
Interesting.
So this product has existed for 2 years.
Yeah.
And your growth has been, what approximate per year?
I mean, like first year was building products, so this is the actual year of like going through this, and then we got 70 studios on this year essentially.
Okay, so essentially 1 year of actually getting growth. Did you identify? I was looking through your slides quickly. Did you state any metrics?
Initially for the first 2 times, yeah, but then now there's no point. Like we're more than happy to continue where we are going at. I just wanted to get feedback on what's like even without feedback, is there problems with this pitch? Because we've like basically got studios from like Ready Player One, Metaverse that they're building and all of that kind of stuff. So we're just building along with them at the moment. But like, yeah, I'm not really 100% sure on metrics and traction on that part. So that's probably the core thing I'm still missing in terms of like articulating a clear metrics and growth thing. But like when people use the product and they just get blown away by it, they're like, we just get offers and stuff. That's the kind of issue.
What was the ARR again?
We are not monetizing at the moment. So we're getting people on board.
How many people use it?
70 studios at the moment.
How many people in each studio?
I don't know. It depends on the studio, right? Like it could be like 1 person, or it could be like 15 people, etc. Depends on the
Is it
studio.
something that they use every day, every month, or every year?
Yeah, it's like every couple of days, essentially. It's like a law repository. It's a narrative design, like what do you
then
call
why
repository?
haven't they started paying for it, or why haven't you charged them for it?
Because well, yeah, like this is the other thing is like I'm a solo founder and I'm a technical founder and my business skills aren't the greatest. So I need to know what I'm doing, how I can actually structure that, etc.
Solo founders in speedrun is very difficult. There are a few, they're very rare.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why not get a co-founder?
Look, I've already done all this by myself, like getting a co-founder who doesn't have the shared vision and alignment. And also it's very, very hard to get a shared co-founder in Australia, because like Australian gaming industry is very small and that is also comfortable jumping into startups, etc. Like it's just been very tough. So I'd rather just do it by myself and then get someone, if someone comes along, that'll be great. But if they don't, then that's not really an issue for me.
Okay, so I think that might be one of the reasons why, if you're asking why you're rejected the last 2 times, that might be a reason. You now have more metrics than you had before. Every single one of your customer is basically a pilot partner because they're not paying. Convert them. When they drop off, you will know that it's not a real product. And once you convert, if you can convert 60 studios, 60 so some of the largest AA, AAA studios, especially in the LA area, then you have a much better job, or just pitching to A16Z directly as well as Speedrun.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
why.
it's been 2 years. Just try to convert those customers and pitch directly to the A16Z games department.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go through an accelerator, because I just need to build up those skills to actually convert them and like understand how to do B2B SaaS sales. That's not something I'm very proficient in at the moment. So like that's why I wanted to go through an accelerator and build up those skills. But yeah, like I understand the other way around of doing it as well.
I think A16Z does a good job of helping you start a business, and they will give you tips and connect with you with people to learn. But that skill is something that you do need to learn, like by yourself, and prove that you can do that to run a business.
Yeah. Like this easier said than done. I would probably I would email in the next few weeks, tomorrow, email every single one of your customers, be like, hey, I'm starting to charge money for this. How much are you gonna pay? I don't know if that's the right exact way to do it, but I think you got to figure out how to monetize it, because or what you do, like there's I think there's three routes. I want to be really tactical with my feedback here. Of like, one, I don't know, read a book, watch some YouTube videos on how to charge B2B SaaS. It's not hard, right? I mean, like people, it's harder to learn how to code than it is to figure out how to price this product. I think just reach out to your current customers, try to convert them, or be like, you know what? I know what I don't know. I need to bring in a co-founder who knows how to do this. And you're going to give up equity for it. But either way, you'll learn very quickly if your company is dead, or you can turn it into something.
Yeah, cool. That makes sense.
Kind of like rip the band-aid off. But yeah, to the point, like if you can start to convert these customers, these are like household names. You don't need Speedrun.
Yeah, that's like the kind of issue I've been having problems with. Like I just need to learn how to do it, and that's something I'll get better at. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I'll be honest, Speedrun's not going to handhold you through a B2B sales call.
Yeah, no, I can do the sales calls, and I know how to pitch and get all of that stuff. I just don't know how to price and structure my product. That's like the different.
They won't help a lot with that either.
I mean, they will give you guidance, but like that is like an art. So you either do need to bring on a founder, a technical founder that can help you with that, or any co-founder that can help you with that, or try to experiment and learn it yourself. Liam gave a couple good suggestions as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Makes sense. Yes.
All right. Who's up next?
Yeah, I think that's me, Ashu.
Go for it.
Let me present my screen.
I like how your name is is pitching your product. That's I haven't seen that before. I'm assuming, I hope that's your company, or else someone's swindling you. But yeah.
No, actually, yeah. I mean, I was trying to pitch, but yeah, that's a different story. Yeah. Basically, currently I am working on AutoClause and AutoClause.ai. We are basically automating the slowest part of B2B travel, which is supplier contracts. So when I say B2B travel, it's primarily it's very different from B2C travel, right? So when you hear B2B travel, it's mostly corporate travel, but then the supplier agreements are very different. And every contract is having its own format. So a lot of these distributors spend a lot of human hours trying to interpret these contracts and extract all the clauses, all the exceptions, promotions, and whatever is there in those contracts. So basically, we have built a contract engine. Of course, it's AI powered engine that takes in these contracts and then extracts all the important terms, all the rates, important dates that are mentioned, important policies, cancellation policies, and whatnot, and presents it in an Excel sheet, which they can then use it into their downstream systems. The vision is, of course, uh, to rethink the entire procurement in B2B travel, uh, which is a big enough market, which is actually a 32 billion market at the moment. And we are starting small. We are just saying that, okay, for now, we will just be processing the contracts and then extracting the meaningful terms out of it. Uh, we are currently working with two pilot customers in Asia, but they are not paying yet, and we are still honing on the product, improving it. And the plan is to improve the product and then reach out to more customers. We started only a month back. Uh, the team, basically, we are brothers, and we have previously worked in, like, we have previously started a startup around 2014 in B2B travel itself. We were funded by Alchemist Accelerator in San Francisco, and we had paying customers. Although it did not turn out that good, but then we did learn a lot about the industry. We made industry connects. So this time around, with AI and with learnings, we do see a chance to actually disrupt the B2B travel procurement space this time around. So that's like, of course, we don't have enough traction at the moment, but just want your feedback on what do you think about this application. I have not applied yet, so yeah, I will be applying in maybe next week.
First round of feedback is just the one liner. I think you could make this more succinct. And we are automating the slowest part of B2B travel supplier contracts. This sounds like really boring, but I'd maybe just be like AI supplier contracts for B2B travel.
Okay.
Or something like that. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. And then no traction yet. Okay. So this is going to be like kind of a team bet. Do you have any, maybe not traction, but like, have you talked to customers, or is there any, can you say how many customers you've talked to? What's the biggest pain point? What's maybe like a unique insight that you found? And give like an anecdote, I would say, in here that says, bring it down to some insight that someone at Andreessen would have no clue exists, right? I'm making something up right now, but like, did you know that 80% of the $1 billion in wages of folks that work in this space are just copy and pasted data between two applications? I don't know what it is, but something like that you're like, whoa, there is an opportunity here. And I would try to lean into there a little bit. And then $32 billion industry, is that so the value of these contracts, or is that like, I would maybe put that up if that truly is the cap.
Yeah. So see, yes, I mean the that is the value of the contracts, and I have been speaking to customers. We do have pilot customers, like beta customers using our product at the moment.
How many?
One insight, two, just two.
Okay, I mean, throw that in there, right? Like, do you have that in there or no?
I think
Working with beta, we already have working with beta beta customers speaking to 10 plus prospects every week to understand more. I would put all those metrics up.
Okay.
Talk how many customers who are using the product right now. What do they do with the product? What do they like in one liner? You know, with customers who love our product because of X. We've spoken with not per week. Talking to people per week is an interesting metric, but 200 people total, and they say they want this, and they're willing to spend X. Is a little bit stronger.
Sounds fair.
Any feedback from you guys?
No, but I like what you've written here in the team slide. I think there's
team slide's great. Brothers, fuck yeah, that's awesome.
And YC and Google, there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah, I would crank up the bragging a bit.
Yeah.
Here you say it had decent success, and then we learned a lot about. I would crank it up and say, and just make it more impressive.
Okay.
Yeah, put this in the ChatGPT and say, brag for me more.
Got it. So I have one question. So do you think, should I explain the industry a bit more? Because I feel like whenever I speak to outsiders, like people who are not from travel industry, they don't really have a lot of idea about B2B travel. So should I explain that a bit, or should I leave it in the deck?
I mean, really, you tell me what you think about this, but I feel like I don't know this industry, and this might be something that somebody does know, but it seems like 32 billion, like that seems a little crazy. So I'm curious how it got there. So as long as you can make this a little bit interesting overall, maybe that's a team bet, and you can spice this up enough to get an interview. They'll ask you the questions that they want to know. Probably something more about like the serviceable market more than like, is that the industry of B2B travel? 32 billion? That makes sense. And then what are the contracts worth? Like, how much money can this business make? Because I don't know that from reading this.
Got it.
Would it make sense for you to bake on this for another few months and then apply for a later batch?
Yeah, even I was actually, we were like Mimi and my co-founder were actually thinking about this because we do see a lot of latent demand for this product, but we don't know if this is the right time to pitch to investors. In fact, I'm not actively pitching to anyone. It's just that for Speedrun, I thought maybe I should apply. But yeah, I mean, if we wait for a few months, definitely we'll have more traction, more validation around it.
Yeah, I'd probably bake that. That's a great idea. I mean, maybe apply so you can just like put your name in a ring and like it looks good, but yeah, it seems like you're onto something big. I would hate for you to like get your hopes up and then have that get crushed by a rejection. In reality, like you just need a little bit more time, I think, to start converting those customers into paid customers.
Got it.
Do keep in mind that A16Z might be a better investor than Speedrun, just because the niches that or the areas that Speedrun targets is usually between consumer and then gaming and B2B and everything in that mix.
Yeah, I mean, that was also on our mind, whether this industry itself is interesting for Speedrun or not. So yeah, we'll rethink about that as well. Yeah.
I like the idea. Good space. Great team. Brag about yourself.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Hell yeah. All right. Who's next?
Oh yeah, it should be me. Hey
All right.
guys.
How you doing?
Yeah. Doing great. Yeah, thank you for doing this. And thank you
course.
everyone else for pitching. Yeah, super helpful. So cool. Yeah, I just wanted to start with a quick background. So yeah, my name is Alex. I'm from Sweden. It's also super late here, but super excited to be here with all of you. So about a decade ago, like me and my co-founder had sort of the same realization. We didn't know each other then, but we felt that virtual worlds will basically in the future have the potential to give true freedom to all of humanity, basically, and create true equality because there is no limits in virtual worlds. So that was a realization. And then we both kind of became obsessed with this. I started building a product called Freeland, spent the last 7 years, 30,000 hours, like working day and night and still doing like it's still an active product. But there's a new thing coming up. Vita, on the other hand, my co-founder, he worked on another project called Somnium Space. It's a persistent virtual world where players own their land, and they sold for over 10 million on OpenSea a couple of years back, so very successful. But now we have around 50,000 users, and both products are still running. And me has worked together for 4 years, but we feel like there's been something missing. Not that what we're doing is wrong, but that we might need a different angle. And from that came the idea of a building creation toolkit called Vamo. So we say it's the IKEA of virtual world building. So we want to make, yeah, virtual world building as simple as decorating your room or playing with Lego. So I don't know. I have a quick, let me show you a quick trailer just to give some context, and then I would love to share the Speedrun application. So I'll just show you, yeah, I'll just skim through this a little bit so you can see. This is the actual product. So this mm, um, this works all online, and it's seamless. And this is player-hosted worlds. So it's similar to Minecraft in a way as well, but the building tools are super simple. This is in VR, but we will support all platforms. So you can basically build anything, and the worlds are huge that you can build. And this is super optimized because we've learned from the development of Freeland then to build for the Meta Quest, both 2 and 3. So this works like, this will work on all devices, even older mobile devices. And yeah, we have like super seamless, super easy to use building tools, and it's all working. We're ready to launch pretty much anytime. Yeah, I'm just showing what can be done. So there's like super simple to use tools where these huge and cool worlds can be built with. Right now we have like 1,000 build items as well. So, and we can easily like add pretty much any item, even AI generated items.
What's
It's
you said the current traction is 50,000 users?
yeah, that's for Freeland, the other game that is still running and still being actively developed as well. So yeah, I want to keep that clear. We're still super committed to that and developing that, but this is another step in that direction. So this product is based on the same core technology, basically, but mainly focusing on just the UGC, the player building aspects. Yeah, so yeah, let me just show you. But yeah, this was built in like under an hour. Let's see. And
Gotcha. What can we help you
yeah.
with?
Sure. So let me show you the pitch here. I just wanted to give you some context so you know the actual product.
Yeah.
So here's the one sentence pitch. Yeah. Let me zoom in so it becomes a bit more readable.
If you can change the tabs, because I still see the YouTube video.
Oh, sorry for that. Sorry for that. There we go.
Okay.
I'm not in love with the one-liner. I feel like it's more like Roblox or even Minecraft, right?
Okay.
Or correct me if I'm wrong. Is the UGC like
wait,
like a much more different? Yeah, like I'm thinking like IKEA furniture, which isn't like UGC. It's like 3D models I place in real life. Versus I think yours is more crafting like the grounds below you from the video and some like texture models and things. Could you just describe? Is it more custom UGC or is it like IKEA?
Right. So the reason IKEA came is both because I'm from Sweden, so that's where the idea came in a sense. But it's also about the decoration, how everyone loves like doing it yourself, and also how simple it is and how universal it is. So I think in that sense it matches. Even if it might not be exactly a one-to-one conversion, I think it matches. But if you have a different idea, I would love to.
Yeah, well, okay, it's funny because you're talking about building the furniture is like creating your space with IKEA and those building blocks. But like IKEA has like 3D view in room and stuff that's like in the VR space that like is similar to this. So I probably wouldn't draw that comparison and more talk about UGC generated worlds. Maybe that's like Roblox. So then what differentiates you? And
right.
Probably loop that into a one-line pitch.
Sure. I just wanted it to be like super catchy and something that people would remember, sort of like not
fair.
because the pitch is the
Totally
absolute
fair.
most accurate thing, but we need something that really stands out. So yeah, I'll have to think about
Okay.
because if we just say user-generated worlds, it would just sound like 1,000 other projects. So that is sort of the problem. Although it isn't like 1,000 other projects, but it might sound like it, and then it will get lost like in the first sentence. That's my kind of worry.
Yeah, I know. I feel that.
I mean, this is not suggesting that you do it, but I would try to reduce the one sentence pitch as they said, and I would have your slide, one of your slides, so like IKEA instead of actually putting in text.
Right, right. Gotcha.
Also, I would not. You mentioned you have your two previous projects, the two previous games, the Web3 game, and you're committed to those, but you're also doing this. That is going to be super confusing for a VC.
Definitely
Right,
don't
right.
say that. Say I
Oh,
have
wait,
these things
so-
that prove traction.
Wait, is this? Yeah, wait. I want. So you're not bringing your other game into this. You're gonna
Yeah,
run
so
two
that is,
companies at the same time.
they are interlinked, but we feel that the best direction is to split them into two products for now, but they still carry the core technology. So it means we have an invisible wall that we can sort of move between the products
Is it
depending
in
on
the
the
same
users.
company, or are they two separate companies?
Right now, it's one of the products, Freeland, is the company that is then going to release this game as well, this product.
Maybe,
I think what
is it the same
you, okay, do you have a
corporation?
parent company that's incorporated, and then these are
So
three
if-
game products.
If they invest
So-
in this idea, they get the other one too.
They get Freeland as well, yes. So that's part of the pitch here. But these games will, in the future, be able to turn into one. So it means we have all the technology that's been developed over the last 7 years for both of these games. But yeah, that could be a complication. I really see your point, and I've discussed this with my co-founder as well. So the difficult part is we're still committed to both the visions, but we feel like this is an easier route and a quicker route to gaining a lot of user traction, because the other is very focused on an MMORPG audience, which is super amazing. And we still love that, but it's a longer traction. And right now it's more of a niche. So we want to do something that's more widespread and could become global quickly, while still using the same technology, but using just the core that we know could scale into the millions in a short time frame.
Okay. Yeah. No, that I think that's just going to be uh, that muddies the water here a lot. That I would have an answer of just what you're going to do there. And I don't
Sorry?
think the answer is we're going to do both at the same time. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, like, put yourselves in the shoes of a VC, and you're like, yeah, no, it's a good point. Let's move on to the next. I think that's the biggest concern here.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
that's perfect.
sharing that.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's do
Awesome.
maybe like one or two or maybe three more. I'm gonna be a little bit strict here because it is getting a little late and we're heading to like 2 hour and 30-minute mark.
We'll have more of these.
We're gonna have more. We're gonna try and do it every Sunday and every Wednesday, and we'll just keep going. But I will be kind of. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, and I will harshly say we're done after that. So the timer. Give your 1 minute. First, what questions do you have? 1 minute pitch, and then we'll go. Ready? Go.
Sure. So this is super ironic because this is actually related to Roblox. First question is where to place my key insight in this narrative structure. The key insight is basically Roblox developers are using this workaround to code from their phones, which is before they leave their house. They'll open up VS Code, a Roblox Studio instance, a VS Code plugin called Roho, which connects the two, and a VS Code GitHub sync plugin, and then open GitHub Mobile on their phone to write code. Even though they do that, they can't actually publish their changes or test them. Next question is kind of how to work with a massive company's API development team. Their APIs are garbage. Part of why this is difficult to build and no one has built it yet. I'm kind of wondering to use a strong arm approach or a ask for help approach. Things like increasing rate limits. I'm not sure if it would be best to have users and say, hey, we're hitting API restrictions, or to say, hey, we're going to hit API restrictions. Can you do this obvious thing? I'll cover the other questions later. Simple overview, it's called CodeLocks. It's an iPhone IDE app for agentic coding for Roblox developers. You can kind of think of it as the iPhone replit for video games. Roblox developers can't edit their games, as you already know, without being at a desktop or laptop computer. It's basically been in a closed ecosystem. They've recently released something called Open Cloud, which allows you to API into most things within the environment. There's professional development tooling built into the app, such as AI code generation, GitHub sync, pushing, code reversion to previous versions, syntax validation, code linting, script testing, publishing, etc. I'm currently test flight testing it with some of my Roblox developer friends. I've been working on it for 2 months. Outside of the Roblox environment, you could essentially swap out everything I've built to apply to building your own video games in other languages. So that's what you could consider a long-term vision. In terms of the founders, there's founder A listed here.
Could you zoom in on this document a little bit? Sorry, it's very, very
Oh
small.
yeah, sorry, of course.
Yeah, keep going a little bit more.
So you guys are familiar with that Columbia interview coder guy?
Yeah.
I was the original person that automated leak code with the Claude 3.5 sonnet that went super viral. I actually talked to the guy. I think he got the idea from me.
Oh.
Shout out to him though. He actually learned how to monetize it. So he's better than I am. But I've also developed Roblox games. I've developed a similar plugin to this within the Roblox Studio environment. Sorry, were you wanting to say something?
I guess could you go up to the one-liner?
Yes.
I love the iPhone replit for Roblox games. I think that's even stronger, honestly.
iPhone, yeah. Yeah, I think just shorten this up, and it seems straightforward to me. Yeah.
Seems like a really good idea, and I think you have a good background. This team is strong. This is strong. What was the first question? I forget what that one was, but
yeah. So basically, I'm not sure where to dump this knowledge of, hey, there's people out here who have this problem, and they have a ridiculous workaround they're doing to try and solve it, and I can solve it really well.
Oh yeah, okay. So that, and I think that that's pretty important, like to illustrate it, but you can probably get that into like a one-line sentence. I would assume. It probably took you a minute to describe it. Shorten it.
Yeah, and if there's some like social proof that you can do, whether it be like, in Discord channel or something, of just saying like, yeah, I described this problem and like 700 people liked it or something like that. That's all the proof you need. I think that's the only thing that's probably missing, unless I missed that out of the application. Other than that, the one-liner, yeah, workshop a little bit. The idea is straightforward for me.
You probably don't even need to like ask anything because it sounds like this is a current workaround that people are using. So you can just Google it, show like a Reddit post with a bunch of likes, validation.
Yeah.
Cool. The other question, I know we're almost at time, just framing the market. So there's a ton of different ways I could frame this as potential customers. There's 6 million developers on Roblox. There's 1 million who are actually earning Robux, the income. There's 11,000 who have cashed out $350 in earnings in the past year. There's 1,050 earning 10K plus and 250 earning 100,000. I think this makes most. Go ahead.
Can you just show like how much money is being earned per year in the Roblox community? And then
yeah,
that's like
I could do that. Would be way more impressive.
Yeah, that's like kind of your TAM right now. But then have a longer term vision of like where it's going to go in the future, of like how you're going to move, maybe you're an agentic coding platform on mobile for other things too.
Yep. Cool. Cool.
How
Okay.
close are you to a product? Do you have a product? Do you have any metrics?
Yep. So let me throw my screen share back up. Sorry, I'll take 30 seconds. This is what the demo of the product looks like right now. This is showing a specific example of actually editing the code yourself. So it's got an IDE. It live does syntax validation. You can save the changes, push them to GitHub with commit messages. That pushes it to Roblox directly. You can also test headlessly the script itself without having to actually go open a computer. Get all your test results and return statements, or do reversion back to previous changes. So that's what I'm showing here. And then on the agentic AI side, there's a chat, which essentially embeds your code base that you select the context to include, and it'll produce code snippets for you. And I'm basically working on finishing up the agentic part right now where it'll proactively do code snippets.
How close are you to getting early users?
I've already got a couple of friends who are actually testing it right now. It's in test flight.
Okay.
Theoretically, I could drop this right now and charge for it. I just
try to go
like
viral on
literally,
Reddit and Twitter.
yeah, I think that's part of like my team pitch, which is, hey, I've gone viral on TikTok before. I marketed my own games, got 50,000 followers and 3 million views. Like, and I went
Yeah.
viral with the Claude 3.5 Sonnet thing. Like, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that. I would go super viral before submitting.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And-
thinking. It's like leverage in terms of users, feedback, social proof, and income. So probably not this batch, and get the
And
agent
if you
up
can
and
get
running.
this out in the next like few weeks and just go viral on Twitter, I think you have a good shot.
Yeah, you can also submit late. Like the deadline is a deadline. You can also submit after the deadline.
Yep.
And hope for the best. You might be pushed to the next one, who knows? And then you remove those bulletin points. The paragraph of what explain what it is, that's prose. That's not line items.
Okay, sweet. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Tim, if you could send that doc to me. I want to read a little bit more time on that one because
Send a link to me as well. I want to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got added you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's a deal.
Yeah. I'm super curious about this. You have a track record of making shit happen on the internet, so that's very strong.
Thanks.
Good stuff. Next, let's do it.
Hey.
Yamato. Perfect. Let's go for it.
All right. So instead of me pitching, can you actually read the application just like the real written application process, and with this low energy level, just like the real application process? And I want to know if you understand what we do when you get lost, etc. Okay.
Yeah. Could you make it a little bigger?
Sure.
Perfect.
They're good.
Multiple browser for product teams. Okay.
Can you just expand your window, your browser window?
Like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's an interesting idea.
Whoa. Huh.
I very much like it. I don't. Is it like
Is that
different than screen sharing and Google Meet and Drawing or Slack?
It sounds like it's just screen share.
Yeah,
So like you can just.
but I do really love the idea.
Interesting. Is where are you in the product? Does it work?
So yeah, it's actually we started the building like 6 months ago, and it's almost ready to launch, but we probably cannot make it before the submission. But yeah, the product is running, but we cannot. We ask friends to play with it, but still they are not like actively using it every single day because like we are not reaching the table stake features for as a browser.
What do you need the most help with?
What's that?
What do you need the most help with?
From like Speedrun?
Yeah, or us.
You mean like I kind of wanted you to read this read this application if you understood this concept, and if you got interested enough to click the slide page and want to learn more, or like yeah. or like where do you
Yeah,
see it?
I mean, and there's a lot of ways that you can go about doing that.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I actually think that the one-liner could be a
Yeah.
little more catchy. Like multiplayer web browser, I was like, what? What do you mean by that? But then when, like the next line, like the Figma with the people, everybody collaboratively. It's just a collaborative web browser, essentially. I don't know. It took me a hot second to get it. Maybe people wouldn't have read it as far if like that one-liner doesn't really catch them in this situation. Obviously, we're gonna read the whole thing.
I would just shorten to Figma for web browsing.
Yeah, that it would probably be easier to do that.
Yeah, I get it. I love multiplayer experiences. I love multiplayer tools and collaborative tools. What are they collaborating with? Like, are they reaching into each other's inboxes? Are they just keeping track of what people's tabs are doing? How does this improve? Where's the break between like the personal space and then the company space?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, if I quickly ask the question, so answer the question. So so basically this is the actual product, right? So it behaves just like a normal browser. The only difference is gonna be you see the team presence here. Well, once I get his to my current tab, it invite him to this tab, and it kind of opens up like shared screen. And this like a shared browser. Any tabs you open will be shared with all the participants. So like you can just go back and be between like different tabs and together. Sorry, Shao, I'm on the call. Yeah.
VR chat 3.0. Interesting comment. Okay.
If your question is this enough to like that would get somebody interested? I think it's good enough to get somebody interested. They're gonna have I think a lot more questions on like specific like that route, and you could address them here. Like what are they going to be collaborating on? What are the security restrictions? Like, can you just go and do whatever the hell you want on my computer? I guess technical feasibility from screen sharing on natively on Mac. Like, I don't think you can have multiple controllers. I'm sure you figured it out since you've been working on this for 6 months. And then like, how are you going to monetize? And so there's a lot of questions that I have, but like on a pure, if you're wondering, is your idea interesting? It is interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's good. I'm not sure if anyone else asked this, but can I borrow your name as a referrer of the application?
Yeah. Just send us this doc.
Okay, sure.
Cool.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Evan, unfortunately, I think will be our last one, and then the rest, everyone else, we'll try and do another one on Sunday. I know. I'm sorry. It's hitting the 2 hour and 30 mark, and I start to give really bad advice afterwards. So, let's do one more, and then we'll you will have plenty of time. Like it'll be either this Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. And you will all be prioritized. Whoever didn't get time today, and we'll just keep going. But yeah, I gotta get back to work. We have like meetings at like 8 a.m. So, cool. Evan, go for it.
Yeah, thanks so much. I have no idea how you can still consider yourself working, because I think maybe you work on B2B, I forgot, but I think that's the what's that, productive procrastination thing. But anyways, so I'm building this thing. It's called Goes Higher. Can you see the screen? Maybe I should make it a bit larger.
Yeah. Goes Tires.
So AI, this all vibe application, because I just applied to a couple of things that started to work, and I spent 2 months researching this recruiting market, and it's not a fun market to be in. So what I'm trying to build is a recruiting agent that basically replaces the easy job in the recruiting process, which is finding people and then emailing people. That like I only have like the first part of search, wait, and validate. Basically, just like put everything into GPT, and with some prompt it'll work, and then AI reach out. I have some other tool to do it, but that's not related. problem. My problem is just I cannot get traction. I got to speak to a couple people, and it's so hard because I come from an engineering background, which is there you go. Is my next slide, and it's just so hard to sell. Um, but yeah, I'm a ex-school engineer with two not so great startup experience. Um, really hate fighting jobs, so that's kind of what I'm looking for this field. So that's why people say that like lead code cheater. Like that's the thing that made Bill for myself. But that's that. So let me pause there. I think it's I only talked to like 5 to 10 recruiters, like and one managers, and I realized I probably want to fire a co-founder at this point. But and I'm probably not gonna be like getting, but I'm just since I've been stalking this forever, so I better show up to get some criticism about my thing that I'm working on. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You guys have feedback?
Yeah, I mean, and you said it right then and there, which is you're lacking in some of these sales expertise, and it's hard to get some traction. You're looking for a co-founder. I think that's a perfect opportunity and a tactical route that you can take because you probably are going to need one. And if you're, especially if you're serious about doing any of these accelerators, it's going to be hard to do it as a solo founder, and that co-founder can fill those gaps. But also, separate from the co-founder, getting like customer traction would probably be important to validate your idea. So there's also that as a separate issue. Like, is it something that you can do? I would probably try to find a co-founder and have them look for somebody that can help bridge the gaps in your expertise.
Yeah, and I also was just building today to build a co-founder fighting blocking. So that's my MVP today. I'm just like scrolling through YC startups co-founder matching platform and then use AI to rate everyone. If anyone's interested in this thing, like shoot me a thing. I may but the code has my API key in it, so you get your own API key. Don't use mine. Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, you're technical, so I don't think you'll have a problem finding a co-founder that can help bridge those gaps, but you need to find somebody that makes sense and aligns with your vision and this company.
Yeah, I was going to ask some like sales question, but I later realized that like if I can get someone to just like do those things without me learning, I think that would be easy. Just like the non-tech person bringing the tech co-founder, like that's I mean you can learn code, but you'll never get as good as what I do. But that's that I should do the same for non-tech founder. I think that's my learning recently. All right, I don't have any question. Anything else y'all want to say? I think I promised Armager for giving my spot to him, but now now you are the last one. I'm the last one. Yeah.
It's okay. We're gonna have more of these guys.
How
Yeah.
are you applying to Speedrun now? What's the plan?
Probably not. I think from my stalking of this today and last weekend, I think I probably need to like either team play or traction play. I think I'm still trying to meet people for meet some potential customers. Some say they'll pay like $100,000 rather than brag it because they really want it like difficult. Um, I think I will have to have like either traction or a team to apply, which I hopefully will get it like started within the next 10-20 days.
Okay, yeah, get traction, get something that right as is, uh, without a product, without anything. This is not really attractive to Speedrun. So
I do have a short demo
do an
of
AI
things.
play because there's like 24 of these right now.
Yeah,
and
more than 24. Yeah.
Identify why yours is better than others.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then the pitch is hard.
It's gonna be hard. Like I'm thinking not from a pitch standpoint, but from a more startup standpoint about how this thing could work. And I think it's gonna be hard. And hopefully I make it or I'll make something else. I think that's what I'm trying to do. All right, thanks for your time.
Yeah, I think one more piece of feedback is just on your team part of your document. There were I'm just remembering what you said in there is one, you talked about at Google you shipped some stuff and then you said you built some not too great startups and then something else that was like putting you down. You got to brag. Like, what did you ship at Google? What products did you ship there? Make them sound a lot better than they are. Even if it's just I worked on Google search or internal tools, whatever, just say I shipped 5 things at Google impacting 1 billion users. I went through building 2 startups. You don't have to mention, you know, that they didn't work out, but built 2 startups and then something else. Work on bragging about yourself a little bit. I know there's a lot of talent here, but I want that to shine in the talk about yourself application part.
Yeah, I think definitely bring about like 20 million revenue to Google, something like that. I think that's something that I definitely could brag about.
Whatever it
Startup, they
is,
are like
like,
so bad, but yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, like brag. And if it means going to just throw the thing into ChatGPT and be like, hey, ask me questions that let me brag more in this part of the document, answer those said questions, and then have it write it for you. Doesn't matter, just go for that.
Nice, nice. Love that.
Good stuff. All right, everyone. Unfortunately, can't get to everyone, but we did 2 hours, 45 minutes. We will keep doing this. And that is that. Just keep doing
Thank
the
you,
stream.
everyone. Check out our LinkedIn's. We will be posting our next time, likely early next week. And thank you for coming.
Awesome. Thanks everyone who watched the stream. Thanks everyone who joined. Special guest Speedrun alumni over here as well. And
Fire company.
And yeah, we'll see you again soon. Thanks everyone. And now I got to figure out how to stop this stream.